Don't you ever change that headline down here?
Well, not till I think of a better one. Paper, mister?
All right, here you are.
Thank you. It's entire northern states buried by snowstorm. Read all about
Well,
it.
how bad was the storm? How many feet of snow?
Margot, you're talking like a tourist. All they need is a flurry up north to cause a headline like this.
Oh, really?
Sure. You get used to these headlines after you hear. Margot.
What?
Margot, look at this.
What is it?
The story on the front page. Museum professor murdered by the shadow.
By the shadow?
Well, that's what it says. Professor Rice of the Cosmopolitan Museum was found dying in his apartment late this evening by the police. In a deathbed statement to Commissioner Weston, he described his assailant as an invisible man who called himself the Shadow.
Well, Lamont, that's impossible. How do you explain it?
I have no explanation. But one thing is certain. We're catching the next plane north. And you say, Commissioner Weston, that the dying man swore that his assailant was the Shadow?
That's right.
Well, somehow I can't believe that.
Now, look, Miss Lane, facts are facts.
Well, what Margot means, Commissioner, is that she can't believe that the Shadow would do such a thing.
Well, that's her opinion. Me, I think different.
What do you mean?
I've always suspected that the Shadow was a criminal at heart.
Why?
Otherwise, why would he always remain invisible? Oh, I tell you, he's a bad egg, and this murder confirmed it.
This manuscript, Commissioner, the one that the killer stole from Professor Rice. What do you know about it?
Well, it's something that the professor was working on. Rice and 3 other scholars are employed by the Cosmopolitan Museum, specializing in, restoration and recreation of ancient Hindu culture.
Yes, I'm acquainted with all of them and their work.
Well, you probably know more about it than I do. Anyway, this manuscript was very valuable to them.
But what value would it have to anyone else?
That's out of the department, Miss Lane. My job is, who put it to the corpus delicti? In other words, who killed Professor Rice? The answer to that is the Shadow.
And the motive?
Larceny, my friend. Good old-fashioned larceny. Shadow wanted that manuscript, and he killed the guy to get it.
Commissioner, I don't think that the Shadow had anything to do with it.
Look, I heard the accusation with my own ears just before the erstwhile Professor Rice gave up the ghost.
Nevertheless, I can't believe the Shadow was guilty. And I hope to be able to prove my point. How? Well, with your permission, I'd like to go to the museum and talk to Professor Rice's associates. See what I can learn.
Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend.
We'll leave the car here, Margot. I believe that the night entrance to the museum is in this wing.
Lamont, do you suppose that someone has discovered your secret and is misusing it in the Shadow's name?
That's possible, Margot.
Well, what else could it be?
Well, perhaps Weston is putting the blame of the crime on the Shadow to excuse his department's inability to solve the murder.
Oh, Lamont, what a horrible thing to do.
Well, it's just a supposition, Margot. Well, here we are. We'll have to ring for the watchman.
What do you expect to find out here, Lamont?
Well, I want to talk to the other professors and find out more about the missing manuscript.
Yes? What is it?
Oh, good evening. We wish to see either Professor Carter or Hagen or Professor Almond.
Yes?
I know they're working here this evening.
Are you expected?
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, come in.
Thank you.
We seldom have visitors at this late hour.
Well, I guess not.
I must ask you to walk quietly, please. They do not like to be disturbed.
You mean the professors?
Oh, no, not the professors. I mean those that live here.
Oh, are there people there?
This is their time to rest. Oh, those that you see about you, the statues, the paintings, tires them, you know. People staring at them through the day.
Oh, yes. Yes, I can understand that.
Lamont, does he mean...
Although, the statues must appreciate your consideration for them, sir.
Oh, yes, they do. They know that I watch over them through the night. There is the door to the office. I must leave you here.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, it was nice of you to show us the way.
Not at all. Good night.
Good night.
Yes, good night. Cheerful fellow. Makes you feel right at home.
Well, let's go in, Margot.
Oh. It's you, Mr. Cranston. I didn't expect to see anyone.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Miss Lane, Professor Carter.
How do you do?
How do you do, Miss Lane? Won't you go into the office? Professor Armand is there. I have to consult a file. I'll be right back.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Professor Carter. Come along, Margot.
All right.
May we come in?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, Mr. Cranston. Do come in.
Thank you. I don't believe you know Miss Lane.
No, I have never had the pleasure.
This is Professor Armand, Margot.
How do you do, Professor?
I am most delighted to make your acquaintance. Won't you both be seated?
Thank you.
Thank you. I spoke to Professor Hagen this afternoon. Did he explain to you the purpose of my visit?
Yes, he did. You are interested, I believe, in solving the murder of our most worthy colleague, Professor Rice.
Yes.
A very noble endeavor.
I thought I might begin by learning more about the manuscript that Professor Rice was working on when he was killed.
An excellent beginning.
Yes. What was its value, Professor Armand?
The missing manuscript was quite priceless in rarity, but its monetary value was slight indeed because any attempt to resell it would bring immediate arrest.
Well, Professor, what was in the manuscript?
I must confess that I do not know. You see, it was one section of a single volume that the four of us were translating. Each of us took 1/4 of the work.
The work deals with ancient Hindu culture, doesn't it?
Yes.
Would it by any chance contain any secrets? Secrets of that civilization which could be of value to someone today?
I fear that I am not at liberty to answer that question, Mr. Cranston. Perhaps Professor Hagen might be of greater service to you. He is our superior, you know.
Where is the professor?
He's working in the laboratory upstairs. I shall be most willing to go up and get him for you.
But can't you
I
possibly...
shall return in a moment with Professor Hagen. You will excuse me, Miss Lane, Mr. Cranston. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, our Hindu friend didn't appear to be too willing to talk.
No. I believe he knows much more than he can to tell.
Lamont, I wonder if... Should we answer it?
Well, I suppose I'd better. Hello?
Who am I speaking?
This is Lamont Cranston.
Oh, then I can leave my message to you.
Certainly. What is it?
Of the 3 men who once were 4, one more is about to die.
Who is this? Who's speaking?
The Shadow.
The Shadow? Hello? Hello?
What's the matter, Lamont?
That person on the phone called himself the Shadow.
Then there is an impersonator.
Yes.
I'm sorry to be so long.
Professor Carter, someone just called on the phone. He said that one of you 3 professors is about to die.
What?
It might be a crank, but we can't take any chances.
Where are the others?
Upstairs in the laboratory. You'd better take us up there at once.
Yes. Follow me. Up these stairs.
Come along, Margot.
And a magic boot.
There's trouble up there. Hurry, Carter.
Sounds like Ahmed's voice. Move right in here.
What's wrong? Oh, Margot, you better stay out of here. It's not a pleasant sight.
Ahmed, what happened? What happened to Professor Hagen?
I found him so on the floor, dying.
Oh, was he still alive when you got here?
Yes.
Could he talk to you? Did you learn anything?
Yes, he told me that his attacker was an invisible man who called himself the Shadow.
Well, Margot, we now have definite proof that someone is impersonating the Shadow.
Yes, Lamont, but what can you do about it?
Don't worry, Margot. I've always used the power of the Shadow to aid the forces of law and order, to help good conquer evil.
Yes, I know.
And now that someone else has discovered my secret of invisibility and is misusing this power, I shall travel to the ends of the earth to conquer him. This, Margot, is the Shadow's greatest challenge. But I'm sure that I can meet it and come out on top.
We'll find out how the Shadow meets his challenge in just a moment. But first, are you running your home on a budget plan? If you are, then every penny counts. And you can save not only pennies, but dollars by heating your home with blue coal. Yes, any way you look at it, blue coal gives you more for your money. It burns better, lasts longer, distributes dependable, healthful heat that will cut down your heating costs. And no wonder. You see, blue coal is America's finest hard coal. It comes from the heart of the northern Pennsylvania anthracite field, thousands of feet below the surface, where only the choicest hard coal is mined. What's more, with every order of blue coal, you enjoy the extra home heating service and free advice of your neighborhood blue coal dealer. Besides, he'll give you a free demonstration of the blue coal automatic heat regulator. Just as its name implies, the blue coal automatic heat regulator regulates the heat in your home by operating furnace dampers automatically. You simply set the thermostat, and the heat regulator does the rest. Blue coal and a blue coal heat regulator work together with clock-like precision to increase your comfort and reduce wasted fuel. Ask your neighborhood blue coal dealer about this modern way to heat your home. His name is listed in the Where to Buy It section of your classified telephone directory under the words blue coal. Call him tomorrow. And now, back to the shadow.
Lamont, have you uncovered any clues? Any leads as to the identity of this person who was masquerading as a shadow?
Nothing important, no. But in the past 12 hours, I have received 2 mysterious unsigned messages.
Really? What about?
I'll read you one of them. It says, "Why don't you inquire into the jealousy of the 4 who now are 2?
Does that refer to the 4 professors?
Yes. And I learned that it's quite true. A great jealousy existed. All 4 men, although they worked together, were constantly vying with one another for individual glory.
Then that's why the original manuscript was divided among the 4 of them.
Exactly.
Well, Lamont, you mentioned that you received 2 messages. What was the other one?
I have it here. Listen to this. What were the secrets to be found in the manuscript that was being translated by the 4 who now are 2?
And did you learn the answer to that question?
Not very satisfactorily. I can only guess that these secrets were of an occult nature. Secrets of the ancient Orient.
I see.
And it was in the Orient, Margot, that the shadow learned his secret of invisibility.
Yes, of course. Lamont, who could have sent those messages?
I don't know his identity, but judging by the phrases he used, they were written by the same man that I spoke to on the telephone. The man who calls himself the Shadow.
But why should he be helping you?
I wish I knew. In any case, Margot, his messages bear further investigation. So I think I shall begin by paying a call on Professors Carter and Amwood as the Shadow.
Do you by any chance have a feeling of uneasiness, my dear Professor Carter?
How do you mean?
We still have in our trusted possession the remaining parts of the manuscript. That would make us, shall I say, logical victims.
Then you believe, Professor Ahmed, that we too are marked for death?
That was not my statement. I merely point to the past as a warning of the future.
Well, that's a pleasant picture. If you don't mind, Professor, I'd rather not hear any more of your prophecies tonight.
Very well, if that...
What was that?
You'll pardon my intrusion, gentlemen.
Who speaks? I see no one.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am called the Shadow.
Shadow? He's coming to kill us.
Now, don't be alarmed, Professor Carter. I shan't harm you. I've merely come here seeking information.
It is true. It is true, just as we have heard. You are invisible, Mr. Shadow.
Yes.
Very interesting. Very. How do you achieve this invisibility?
By hypnotizing your minds, gentlemen.
Are you here to kill us as you did the others?
I did not kill the others, Professor Carter. That was done by an imposter who used my name. And you can both help me to trap this masquerading murderer.
Help you? How?
By telling me what I wish to know. By answering my questions.
What are your questions?
What precious secrets were contained in the manuscripts that were stolen?
Secrets? I do not understand.
No evasions, please, Professor Amwood. You are both working on sections of that book. What is it about? What mysteries of the ancient Orient does it reveal?
I am afraid you have been misinformed, my dear Shadow. Hasn't he, Professor Carter?
Oh, yes. Yes, there are no secrets.
You're lying, both of you.
Lying?
Yes, and your lies are most incriminating. You see, gentlemen, I happen to know the circumstances surrounding the death of Professor Hagen. And based on these circumstances, either of you could have been his murderer.
That's not true.
You don't know what you're saying, Shadow.
But I do. So shall we say, gentlemen, that it might be wise for you both in the future to be much more careful.
Lamont, Did you learn anything from Ahmed or Carter?
Nothing definite. They wouldn't talk, either one of them.
Well, what's to be done now?
I'm not sure. I think that I'll take it. Hello?
Is this Lamont Cranston?
Yes?
I just want to tell you that of the 4 who now are 2, one more is about to go.
Who is this?
You know who this is, Mr. Cranston. I am the Shadow.
Hello?
Oh, Lamont. Was that the imposter?
Yes. He's delivered another warning.
What was it?
Another one of the professors is marked for death.
Oh, which one?
He didn't say. We must warn them both at once. Come on, Margot. Carter lives right down the street. We'll go to his place first. If he's all right, we'll call Almond from there. But come quickly. We must hurry. Professor Carter. Professor Carter.
Lamont, do you suppose something's happened to him already?
We'll soon find out. I'll use the skeleton key. I hate to do this, but... there we are. Come on, Margot. Professor Carter!
Lamont, look. The living room. There's been a fight.
Yes, furniture overturned, lamps broken.
But where's Carter?
I'll look in the bedroom. Carter! Carter, are you in there?
Any sign of him, Lamont?
No. This is the only other room in the apartment.
What could have happened to him?
I don't know. It's quite obvious, though, that he was the one selected as the next victim.
This whole thing becomes more baffling every minute.
Quite the contrary, Margot. I think it becomes increasingly clear.
What do you mean, Lamont?
Before we came here, Margot, I was practically convinced that either Carter or Ahmed was the one who murdered Hagen and Rice.
Lamont, are you serious?
Yes, Margot. I felt that one of them had learned something from their share of the manuscript that made them kill to obtain the other men's copies.
I see. But how was the shadow impersonated?
That fits into it too, Margot, very neatly. I learned the secret of invisibility in the Orient. It came from an ancient source. And one of those men could have learned this secret from his manuscript.
Yes, it's very logical. But now that Carter is missing...
Yes, that leaves only Ahmed. And I think we should pay a call on that gentleman at once. We'd like to see Professor Ahmed, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. He's not in his apartment.
When do you expect him?
Well, not for some time, sir. He's been called out of town unexpectedly.
When did he leave?
A short time ago, sir.
Did he say where he was going?
No, sir. He just said he's been gone for an indefinite period.
Well, I guess that just proves Ahmed's guilt, doesn't it, Lamont?
I don't know, Margot. I've been reviewing the entire case in my mind, and several new factors have occurred to me.
What are they?
Well, let's wait till we get into the apartment. We'll talk over a cup of tea.
All right.
Won't you go in, Margot?
Yes, thanks. Lamont, look, there seems to be a note here right under the door.
A note? Let me see it.
Yes.
Well, listen to this, Margot. Tonight at the hour of midnight in the storage room in the basement of the museum, the one whom you seek can be found.
Does that mean the person who's masquerading as a shadow?
I think it does. What time is it, Margot?
Let's see. About 20 of 12.
Well, if I don't want to keep our friend waiting, I'd better be getting over to the museum.
Well, Lamont, suppose this is a trap of the killers, a scheme to do away with you as he did the others.
I'll chance that, Margot. But I want you to get word to Commissioner Weston. Have him at the museum with his men at 12:15. Tell him that he will find the murderer who has pretended to be the shadow. Is there anyone here? This is Lamont Cranston. Is there anyone here? Who is that?
Don't let me frighten you, Mr. Cranston. I'm your old friend, the Shadow.
You are not the shadow.
No? How would you know that? Answer me.
I repeat, you are not the shadow.
I see. And would your knowledge be based on the fact that you yourself are the Shadow? Would it, Mr. Cranston? You don't have to answer, I know. I've known for some time now. You are the Shadow.
What makes you think so?
I've followed the activities of the Shadow for many years. I was most curious to learn his real identity. I began keeping track of the people who were present before and after all of his appearances.
I see. And after discarding many suspects, your search narrowed down to me, is that it?
That's it exactly. And I am the only man who knows the identity of the Shadow.
Well, I must compliment you on your cleverness. I admit to you, I am the shadow.
Yes, but a very powerless shadow at this point. Having learned your secret of invisibility, I've hypnotized your mind before you were aware of me. This time the real shadow is visible, and I am the one unseen.
How did you learn my secret?
From the Hindu manuscript.
Then you admit the murder of Professor Hagen and Professor Rice?
Yes. Yes, unfortunately, they were in the way.
Why did you commit these crimes in my name?
Because I wanted to attract the attention of you, the real shadow, and I succeeded. I led you on, Lamont Cranston, with my phone calls and anonymous notes.
Why? What was your purpose?
My purpose was and is to put an end to your activities. After tonight, Mr. Cranston, I alone will be the shadow, and I shall capitalize on this power. You are a fool.
Why do you say that?
Always working for the powers of good. I shall take real advantage of the name. With a trick of invisibility, the world will be mine.
I gather that I'm to be the next victim in your chain of murders.
To put it bluntly, yes.
I should think that you would make sure of your talents for invisibility before you attempted that.
What do you mean?
Unlike your other victims, my mind is not receptive to your hypnosis.
What are you saying?
I mean that you have been perfectly visible to me ever since you entered this room, Professor Carter.
What? You see me?
Most clearly. And now, if you will observe closely, I shall instruct you in the true art of hypnosis. Look at me, Professor Carter.
No.
Look at me.
No.
I am disappearing before your very eyes. You see? You see?
Wait, you can't do this. You're destroying my power. Do you hear? You're clouding my mind. Cranston.
I am no longer Cranston, Professor Carter. I am the Shadow.
So, you think you've tricked me, do you? You think you've gained the upper hand, but you're wrong. You're wrong.
That revolver won't be of much use. How will you ever find your target?
I'll find you. I'll find you.
Try again, Carter.
I won't miss this time.
Open up in there! Open up!
I believe that's the police, Carter. You'd better put down that gun.
Let them come and get me, and they'd better come shooting.
You'll have to break open the door, Commissioner.
They're coming in!
And beware, this man here is armed.
Keep out of here. I'm warning you, keep out. You're not going to keep out. Oh!
He's been hit, Commissioner. Come ahead.
Shadow, so you're here too.
I came here to apprehend that man on the floor. He is the one who used my name in killing Hagen and Rice.
What? What are you saying?
Look, he's still conscious. Ask him. Ask him.
All right, why, it's Professor Carter.
Yes, he was my impersonator.
Carter. Professor Carter, is this true?
Yes, that's true.
How did you make yourself invisible?
I learned the secret from the manuscript which I destroyed.
Carter, listen to me. You must know the identity of the real Shadow, don't you?
Yes.
Who is he? Tell me.
The real Shadow is...
You'll never learn now, Commissioner. But I think you should know this. In the future, you must always believe one thing about me. The Shadow at all times will be working on the side of right and justice.
We'll hear again from the Shadow in just a minute. But first, here's John Barclay, America's home heating expert. Mr. Barclay.
Thank you, Jean Paul King, and good evening, friends. You know, it's amazing how many people have the idea that there's only one size of hard coal. Yes, and I dare say just as many people think that it makes no difference what size coal they burn in their furnace. As a matter of fact, hard coal is prepared and sold in several home sizes. And it may be that one particular size, or possibly a combination of sizes, will give you the best heat for the least money. Of course, many factors enter into the choice of the size coal for your particular furnace. Factors such as chimney construction, draft conditions, and the size of your furnace. At any rate, a trained John Barclay serviceman can give a quick inspection of your heating plant and tell at a glance whether or not you're burning the right size coal. This free inspection is part of the extra home heating service provided by your neighborhood blue coal dealer. So remember, if you're not completely satisfied with the results you're getting, maybe you're burning the wrong size coal. Just phone your neighborhood blue coal dealer first thing in the morning. Thank you.
Today's program is based on a story copyrighted by the Shadow magazine. The characters, names, places, and plot are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The Shadow knows.
Next week, same time, same station, the Blue Coal Dealers of America bring you an adventure of the Shadow that will amaze you with its breathtaking thrills. So be sure to listen, and be sure to phone your friendly Blue Coal dealer for greater heating comfort at less cost. This is Jean Paul King saying, keep the home fires burning with Blue Coal.
The Blue Beetle. Sweeping down from the underworld to smash gangland comes the friend of the unfortunate, enemy of criminals.
A mysterious, all-powerful character, a problem to the police. But a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk but stronger than steel.
Today's episode of The Blue Beetle is entitled Smashing the Arson Ring. Numerous fires of suspicious nature have stirred the civil authorities to a point where a concerted drive is underway to discover who and what is back of this unprecedented wave of mysterious conflagrations. Has the city's fire inspection department become obsolete? Is the increase of destructive fires in abandoned factories and old law tenements due to coincidence? Or is an organized campaign of wholesale arson being engineered by a mastermind? As our story opens, Patrolman Dan Garrett, who in secret is really the Blue Beetle, discusses the situation with his friend and confidant, Dr. Franz, the chemist.
And Danny, do you really believe that there's a ring of professional arsonists who are setting these fires?
I'm positive.
You know, we've had a long dry spell. There's such a thing as spontaneous combustion.
I know that.
Then on what do you base your suspicions?
The fact that in each case the burned building had been vacant for a long time, or had been operating on a losing basis and was heavily insured. Like those old tenements on River Street.
But surely the owners would be taking a terrible risk of discovery if they set them on fire.
Not if they hired professional arsonists. They're pretty clever, you know.
Yes, but look at the property loss, and in some cases, loss of life.
The property losses in each case I've found are all covered by fire insurance. A loss of life, such as in that last tenement fire, is another thing. That's equivalent to wholesale murder.
You're right, Danny. And if someone deliberately set those fires, that person should pay the extreme penalty.
They will, if I can get the evidence I need to convict them.
Well, what do you intend doing?
I'm asking the chief to put me on special duty to investigate these mysterious fires.
With Officer Madigan?
Yes, if Mike wants to work on them with me.
Well, he will, all right. He likes excitement as much as you do.
I know. I can't stand inactivity as long as there are criminals to run down. I'll only be happy when I'm on their trail.
Well, I do hope you'll always be as successful in the future as you have been in the past.
Oh, there go the fire engines. That's my exit cue. So long, Doc. From now on, Dan Garrett's a smoke eater.
Old man Gordon will build a new apartment house, but the insurance he'll collect on this job.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. These houses aren't worth the powder to blow them up.
Look, there's a girl up there. At the third floor window.
Yeah, she's going to jump.
She'll be killed if she does.
Hey, don't jump.
Look, there's the cop warning her not to jump.
Yeah. Now he's going right into the building. Yeah. And there's another cop going right after him.
Why, they'll be burned to a crisp in that inferno. Boy, look at the flames pouring out of that window underneath.
Yeah. Looks like curtains for them babies.
Not yet. Look. The firemen just got a hose up that ladder. They're pouring a stream of water into the windows. Too late, I'll bet.
That's the end of the cops and the girl.
Yeah. Gee, what a crash. Look up there on the roof.
Yeah. It's the two cops and the girl.
Oh, what do you know about that? They went up instead of down. Just in time, too.
Firemen are slanting a ladder over to them from the hook and ladder truck.
Yeah, but it won't reach. It's too short.
Well, why don't they jump across to the next roof?
It's too far. 20-foot gap. They'd never make it. The firemen could stretch a net to if
They can't get near enough to the building. That fire's too hot. See it pour out of those lower windows.
I guess they're trapped.
No, look. Yeah. One cop's hanging to the edge of the roof by his hands. Now the other one's crawling over him.
What are they going to do? The second cop's hanging from the first cop's feet. Look, he can almost reach the ladder. Look, there's a fireman going up the ladder.
Say, the girl's climbing down over the two cops hanging there. Look out! Gee, she almost lost hold.
The fireman's got her. She's saved.
She's safe! She's safe! She's safe! She's safe!
Yeah, but, say, looks like she fainted.
Well, how them two cops gonna get down?
I don't know. They're still hanging up there. Firemen are backing the hook and ladder truck a bit. Now the end of the ladder is right under him.
Watch him. There he goes. He dropped.
He made it! He made it! Now there's only the cop hanging to the roof. He can't make it, though. Who is he?
Looks like Patrolman Dan Garrett. The other cop was Manigan, his pal.
And that's Garrett, all right. Yeah. But how's he going to get out of this jam? Well, look. The fire's licking up to him now. He's trying to climb back onto the roof.
There he goes. He made it.
How's he going to get down from there? Search me. Boy, I wouldn't like to be in his place.
Hey, he's disappeared.
No, he ain't. There he is. He's got a long pole. What's he going to do? Pole vault across to the other roof.
Gosh, I hope he makes it.
There he goes. He made it! Oh, boy. He ought to get a medal for this day's work.
Well, Danny, I understand you distinguished yourself at the fire today.
I almost extinguished myself. It was all I could do to hold on when Manigan and the girl were both hanging on to me. He's no lightweight.
I'm proud of you, my boy. That took nerve.
You've got to have nerve to make good on the police force.
I know, but you covered yourself with glory.
The important thing is, I got some valuable information.
Yes? From whom?
The girl I rescued, Elsie Williams.
Yes?
I talked to her at the drugstore where the fireman took her when she fainted. She worked for Gordon, sort of a secretary and rent collector.
Is that how she came to be in that building when the fire started?
Yeah, she was collecting rents. She told me she saw a one-armed man leave the cellar entrance in a hurry as she entered the building.
Well, what's suspicious about that? He might have been a friend of the janitor.
Miss Williams told me that she'd seen him in a huddle with her employer early this morning, before the fire.
But that still doesn't prove anything.
Now, wait. As he left, she heard him say to Gordon, "Don't worry, your troubles will soon be over. We won't miss."
Has Gordon been having trouble of some sort?
Yes, financial troubles. Been losing money on his houses. He also has a loft building that's been empty for months.
That certainly looks suspicious.
Yes. And I figure my trail begins with Mr. Gordon.
Well, what are you going to do?
Call upon Mr. Gordon and make him talk.
Yes?
Patrolman Dan Garrett to see you.
What's he want? I'm busy.
He said it's very important to you.
Oh, well, I'll see him.
Patrolman Dan Garrett, Mr. Gordon.
Oh, come in, officer. Oh, what's on your mind? Very busy this afternoon. Fire this morning and everything. Very upsetting. Heavy financial loss.
To you or to the insurance company?
What's that?
I asked you to whom the fire was a heavy financial loss. To you or the insurance company?
Now, look here. Just because you wear that uniform, don't think that you can be impertinent to the taxpayers. I'll report you to...
Just a minute, Mr. Gordon. I'm here on official business. Your buildings were heavily insured. You stand to gain rather than lose by this fire today. The fire chief reports evidence of incendiarism.
What do you mean? How can you report such a thing? I'll have his badge.
Look, Mr. Gordon, I'm here to help you if I can. You tell me who the ringleaders are in this arson racket, and I'll do what I can to get you off lightly when your case comes up in court.
Court? Who said anything about court?
I did. You're going to be arrested shortly.
On suspicion of being party to a conspiracy to defraud the fire insurance company.
No. You can't do that.
No. Why don't you break down? Give me the information I'm after.
What do you want to know?
Who was the one-armed man who was seen to leave the building just before the fire?
One-armed man? Why, I don't know anyone.
Who had a confidential talk with you earlier this morning?
My secretary has
Don't bring your secretary into this. After all, she almost lost her life today, collecting rents for you.
All right. I'll tell you. His name is Joe Durando. He's called Stumpy. He works for the Modern Wrecking and Construction Company.
They wreck buildings and construct buildings. Get you coming and going. Quite a profitable business, I'd say.
Now, listen. I didn't want to do this thing. They threatened to undermine my tenements so they'd collapse. If I didn't hire them to burn them down, the buildings collapsed, I'd get no insurance at all. It'd be a total loss.
So that's their racket. What do they get out of it?
$1,000 down and 20% of the insurance.
Not bad. And I suppose they get the job of rebuilding?
Yes, that's part of the contract.
Who's the head of the company?
I don't know. Stumpy always spoke of his boss as the skipper.
Stumpy must have been in the Navy at one time.
I don't know that.
What does the gang use that makes the fires spread so quickly? Gasoline?
No, naphtha.
Will you go down with me to the DA and tell him what you've just told me?
Now, look here, officer. My life isn't worth a dime right now for talking with you.
Don't worry. The DA will have you guarded day and night. What was that?
Boy, that sounded like my secretary's voice.
Come on, let's see who it is.
Not here. Look, those men. They're carrying her off.
You're right. Hey, stop.
Look out. Okay, Chopper. I'll fix you for sticking your nose into what don't concern you. Come on, Gordon. Take a walk with me.
No.
Come on. I've got this gun in your back, so don't open your trap. You and me is going for a little ride. The skipper wants to see you.
Later that evening, high up in one of the city's skyscrapers, Stumpy is reporting to his skipper.
You see, it was like this, Skipper.
Yes?
I seen the copper go into Gordon's office, and I figured maybe Gordon's secretary had spilled the beans to Garrett after he rescued her.
Uh-huh.
So I called some of the boys.
Of course.
Then when the copper stayed in with Gordon so long, well, I figured the heat was being turned on. So I decided to pick up Gordon as well as the girl.
You took a terrible risk by kidnapping them in broad daylight.
Well, what else could I do, Skipper? The heat was on.
Where are they now?
I got them tied up in one of your barges down at the end of River Street.
You bring them out to my yacht about midnight. We'll see how much they've spilled to the police.
Okay, Skipper.
And keep away from waterfront saloons. If you get drunk tonight, you're all through.
Sure, Skipper. You can trust me. I won't take not even one drink.
You'd better not if you know what's good for you. I've got a couple of jobs for you tomorrow, and I want you sober.
And you can trust me, Skipper. I know where my bread and butter comes from.
All right. Remember that. If you want to be able to continue eating bread and butter.
What will happen to Elsie Williams and the brave little secretary? Will Gordon be bumped off for talking? Can Dan Garrett recover from the blow on the head in time to catch the thugs? Or will he lose the trail completely? Meanwhile, at Dr. Franz's little apothecary shop, Patrolman Dan Garrett is talking with Dr. Franz while donning his Blue Beetle chain armor and mask.
Doc, I've got a hunch.
Has that sailor costume you brought along something to do with your hunch?
Yes. I'm going to put it on over my Blue Beetle costume.
Well, what's the idea?
Well, I'm convinced that the arson trail leads down by the waterfront.
That's an interesting thought. A fire trail leading to water.
Yes, but nevertheless, that's the way I see it.
Well, what gives you the idea the trail leads in that direction?
Stumpy's reference to his boss as skipper, which may mean that Stumpy's been a sailor, or that the head of the arson ring may have headquarters on a ship of some kind.
Oh, I see.
Also, I learned from Gordon today that naphtha is being used to saturate the buildings before setting them afire. Naphtha is used extensively around ships to remove grease and paint and rust.
Well, what are you going to do?
Disguise myself as a sailor and see if I can pick up Stumpy's trail in one of the waterfront cafes.
That will be dangerous, Denny.
I love danger, Doc. When it's in the line of duty, or part of my crusade against crime.
Well, you'd better let me change your face a bit with some makeup. I'd act a little tipsy if I were you. It would be more convincing.
Say, that's a great idea. I'll hide my Blue Beetle mask until I go into action as the Blue Beetle. And when I do, some people are going to get a big surprise.
What's the matter, sailor? Lost your sweetheart?
Looking for my friend Stumpy. Lost my pal Stumpy. You know Stumpy?
Sure, I know Stumpy.
Gotta find Stumpy.
What do you want with him?
He's gotta give me a job. He's my pal. Said if I ever wanted a job ashore, he'd steer me into a good job.
Well, I ain't seen him. Maybe you could find him down at the end of River Street.
End of River Street? What's Stumpy doing down there?
Sometimes he sleeps on one of the Modern Wrecking and Construction Company's barges.
Oh, that's swell. Promised me a job, he did. I'll go find him and buy him a drink. Oh, Stumpy! Stumpy! Stumpy!
Hello, Gus. This is Maisie. Look, there's a guy coming down there looking for Stumpy. Yeah. Says he's a pal of Stumpy's. Pretending he's drunk. But he ain't. He's cold sober and he ain't no pal of Stumpy's. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, can't find my pal Stumpy. You know Stumpy? One-armed Stumpy Dorado?
Sure, I know him. He's down on the barge there. Come on, pal, let me see you.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Matey?
Why, don't mention it. I'm a seafaring man myself.
Seafaring men gotta stick together. Stumpy's a seafaring man.
Now, watch your step, matey.
Yeah,
here's the barge. Stumpy'll be glad to see an old friend.
Stumpy's
You'll find him right down there. And if he ain't down there now, you can talk to the rats until he comes.
Hey, that's you, Gus?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I just knocked an old pal of yours into the hold of this gal.
Who was he?
I don't know. But Maisie phoned he was asking for you and playing drunk up at the cafe.
Yeah, probably a dick.
Yeah. Well, what'll I do with him?
Put the hatch cover on and pile some bags of sand on it. I'll go up and phone the skipper at the office.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
And if this egg in the hole gets noisy, open up the hatch and fill the hole with sand. That'll keep him quiet for a long time.
What will happen to the Blue Beetle now? Can he escape from the rat-infested tomb? Or will he be smothered to death by sand? In the meantime, several telephones are busy.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Yes, you're right. Something should be done about these costly fires. What? Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. I'll be glad to serve on the Citizens Committee. Thanks. Anything for the good of the city. Oh, by the way, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have you and your wife spend the weekend on my yacht sometime. Oh, no, not at all, not at all. It'll be a pleasure. Yes? Yes, all right. Well, just let me know when. Goodbye.
Stumpy on the other phone, sir.
Hello? Yes? What? That sounds suspicious. It may be that patrolman Dan Garrett playing detective. What? Yeah, it's a good idea, Stumpy. Tell Gus to open up the sand elevator and fill the hole. Yes, sink her if necessary. We're insured. I'll meet you out at the yacht in a half hour. Bring Gordon and the girl. If we find out that they've squealed, you'll know what to do. Bye-bye.
Hello? Dr. Franz speaking.
Hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
Yes, Danny, yes.
I'm talking through my portable wireless telephone.
Well, where are you?
In the hold of a sand barge at the foot of River Street.
Are you in danger?
Not yet.
Well, what happened?
Someone knocked me into the hold, and now they're filling the barge with sand.
But, Danny, you'll be buried alive.
Now, look, Doc. Telephone the police to come at once to the Modern Wrecking and Construction Company's warehouse. I'm in the barge, tied up to the pier. Hurry, Doc. Hurry.
Where are you taking us?
Out to the skipper's yacht.
Who's the skipper?
Don't you wish you knew and could tell somebody?
I know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna do you no good. You'll never tell.
What do you mean?
The skipper ain't taking no chances on you or your boss there squealing. Hey, Gordon, you awake? He's awake.
You'll never get away with this. Patrolman Dan Garrett is on your trail.
So you did squeal. That's who the guy was that Gus knocked into the hold of the sand barge. Well, he'll never tell nobody nothing. He's buried alive by this time. Well, that must be the skipper now, on his way out to the yacht. We'll both make it about the same... Yeah. Or maybe it's somebody... Pipe down or I'll slap you overboard. I should have left a gag in your mouth. That's what a guy gets for being soft-hearted.
Okay, there.
Skipper?
Yes. That you, Stumpy?
Yeah.
Keep that girl quiet. Follow me to the yacht.
Okay, Skipper. Now, just for yelling, I'm going to gag you up again.
No!
That'll hold you.
I regret very much, Miss Williams and Mr. Gordon, that you saw fit to express yourselves to the authorities to the extent you have. In my business, long tongues mean short lives.
What are you going to do with it?
My lawyers...
Your lawyers will assist in settling your estate, Mr. Gordon. Only your heirs will benefit by your long tongue.
No, you can't mean that...
Catch my meaning very quickly, Mr. Gordon. We're all going for a little sea voyage, but you and Miss Williams aren't coming back.
The Blue Beetle!
Yes, the Blue Beetle. Stumpy. Drop that gun, Stumpy. You might injure the young lady.
Why, you...
Sullivan! Hold your whole crew, you murderous arsonist. It won't save you. Your racket is smashed. Your cloak of respectability will no longer shield you.
Listen, you guys in the doorway. Don't let this guy bluff you. Grab him.
Don't move, any of you, or I'll blast you with my ray gun. The police will never take me alive.
Stop him. Stop the skipper. He's going to jump overboard.
I live by fire, and I'll die by water.
Well, tell me, Danny, how did you escape from the hold of that sand barge?
I discovered one of the hatches wasn't tight. So was the hole filled with sand. I climbed up in the sand, raised the hatch, and crawled out.
That was a narrow escape.
Yes.
Well, what did you do then?
I heard a girl scream across the water, so I figured it must be Miss Williams' voice. I dived overboard, swam out to a speedboat moored nearby, and climbed aboard. Luckily, I found the ignition key in the switch and started her up. The rest was easy. Drove the boat out to within a quarter-mile of the yacht Typhoon, dived over, and swam out to her. From then on, it was just a matter of getting aboard without being seen.
You certainly had an exciting night.
Yes, but that's what the Blue Beetle craves.
Oh, by the way, Danny, did they find the skipper's body?
Not yet.
Well, as he said, he lived by fire and died by water. My, what a strange epitaph.
Yes. But I'd prefer one which would read, "Here sleeps the Blue Beetle. He did his job now, and rests in peace." And that's just what I'm going to do. Good night, Doc. Nor fire nor flood can turn me from my self-appointed task. I'm going to get some sleep.
And so the Blue Beetle smashed another crooked racket and chalked up another victory for his crusade against crime. Further adventures of Patrolman Dan Garrett will be presented in the next episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine on sale at your newsstand. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in.
The Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies who try to destroy our America. In the interest of our government, the King Trendle Broadcasting Corporation asks you to accept Uncle Sam as the sponsor of the Green Hornet program. To win this war, we've got to get the right workers in the right war jobs. Some cities need war workers badly, but they can't take in any more outsiders because they can't house them. That puts it right up to the people who already live in those cities. They've got to take war jobs, and they've got to start learning war jobs now. Free training can be secured by applying at the nearest local office of the United States Employment Service. As for you who do not live in a war production center, be patient. Your turn will come. Don't move into a city hoping to find a war job. Go to your local United States Employment Office instead. That office knows where the war jobs are and where you can get both a war job and a place to live. With his faithful valet, Cato, Britt Reed, daring young publisher, matches wits with racketeers and saboteurs, risking his life that criminals and enemy spies will feel the weight of the law by the sting of the Green Hornet. Ride with Britt Reed in the thrilling adventure, Sabotage Finds a Name. The Green Hornet strikes again. It was dark outside the drugstore. The street lights were dimmed, and the lights in the drugstore window were shaded. The man paced nervously in front of the store. With his thumb, he flicked a coin into the air and caught it, over and over. Then suddenly he stopped.
No, that's too much. I ain't gonna have no part of it. Daily Sentinel? Let me talk to one of your reporters. Hello, you a reporter? I got a tip for you about Mariana.
Double-crossing rat.
Holy mackerel, Casey, I never got such a shock in my life. My ears are still ringing. Right at the other end of the line, can you imagine?
I certainly can, Lowry.
Yeah.
How would you like to pick up a phone, start talking to somebody, and then hear machine gun bullets? I've been jumping like a typewriter ribbon ever since.
Hello, Miss Case.
Oh, hello, Mr. Reed.
Hey, boss. Have you seen this morning's Sentinel?
Yes, I read it coming downtown. That is quite a story you have.
Well, thanks, but it's no credit to me. It might have been anyone.
My, he's getting modest.
I just happened to be the guy that answered the phone, that's all.
I gather you went right over there.
I used up half my gasoline ration. You know, it's a lucky thing the phone was left off the hook. I was able to get the location and beat the opposition reporters there by an hour.
Any idea who fired that machine gun, Lowry?
No. Police haven't got the slightest idea. It looked like a gangster job.
What about the drugstore clerk?
Why don't you read the paper, Casey? The clerk was in the back of the store. He didn't see a thing. At least that's what he says.
The man who was killed, his name was Boots Lanigan. You mentioned that he had a police record, is that right?
A record as long as your arm, boss. As far as crimes committed, he was almost in the class of the Green Hornet.
I see. That's probably why he called the newspaper instead of the police.
Well, that's how I figure. But I still don't get it.
What's that?
Well, what he said. I picked up the phone, and all he said was, I've got a tip for you about Mariana. Now, why should an ex-thug like Lanigan mention a girl's name? What kind of a tip is that?
Mariana.
You sure? Well, that's the way I heard it. It doesn't make sense. You figure it out, boss. I can't.
Mariana. Mr. Britt, it's quite possible that Mr. Lowry heard wrong, huh? According to what he say, gangster only have time for that one sentence.
He might have gotten it wrong. But Lowry usually hits the nail on the head.
Lanigan, very bad gangster, huh?
Yeah, it looks like a crime war, Cato.
Who Lanigan connected with? What gang?
The waterfront mob, Cato. But they broke up more than a year ago when Dutch Fogel went to jail for... Hey, wait a second. Come to think of it, Fogel's out now.
Yes, that's so.
But this killing is the first sign of gang war. Why should Fogel bump off one of his own men?
Maybe Lanigan removed by other gang,
On top of that, it doesn't sound like Lanigan to turn informer. You know the criminal code, Cato. No matter what happens, never squeal.
All very strange.
Let me see that paper again, will you? Now, here's the follow-up story.
I already see that. Nothing has been added, Mr. Britt.
No, just a little family background on Lanigan. Parents are dead. Only living relative is a younger brother serving with the Marines in Guadalcanal.
Too bad Boots Lanigan not like young brother.
Yeah, with the Marines.
Oh, maybe that man say Marines instead of Mariana.
Perhaps. On the other... That's funny. I never thought of that before.
Huh? Well, what are you doing, Mr. Britt?
You can see it tonight, except for the dim out, Cato.
What are you saying, Mr. Britt? You know who Mariana is?
Perhaps I do.
It is girl?
It's usually referred to as she. Got the Hornet mask and the gun, Cato. We're taking the Black Beauty.
A few moments later, stepping through a secret panel in the rear of a closet in his bedroom, Britt Reed and Cato went along a narrow passage built within the wall of the apartment house itself. The passage led directly to an adjoining building which fronted on a dark side street. Though supposedly abandoned, this building served as the hiding place for the sleek, superpowered Black Beauty, streamlined car of the Green Hornet.
Where are we going, Mr. Britt?
Get in. We're going to take a look at Mariana.
Britt Reed pressed a button. The great car roared into life. The section of wall in front raised automatically, then closed as the gleaming Black Beauty sped into the darkness.
There she is, Cato.
Who?
Mariana, of course.
I see no one.
You're looking right at her.
I see nothing but only salvage job on big boat next to wharf.
That's it, Cato. You can see her name on the bow. That boat is named Mariana.
Well, if it ain't the boss. How'd it go, Fogel?
We figured you'd be in jail overnight anyways.
Me, Dutch Fogel, the jailhouse overnight? Don't be cuckoo, boys. I'm just down there to talk to the police about poor Boots.
Yeah, that's what we meant.
They don't suspect me. Lanigan was my pal. They remind me to send some nice flowers to his funeral. I got nothing to worry about you either. Just dropped in to tell you boys that. Also to ask a little question. Turn around this way, Chopper. Any of you others feel like Boots did? Anybody else want to turn patriotic like Boots did? Maybe you, Chopper.
Oh, nuts, not me, Fogo. I ain't got no brother in the Marines.
Nobody? That's fine.
We feel like you do, Fogo. We get us plenty of moolah. What do we care where it comes from? A stick-up, bank robbery, or from that Gestapo in Berlin?
That's all, boys. Pretty soon we get to work on that ship. I'll tell you when.
It better be soon. That salvage job ain't gonna wait.
Let me worry about that. Well, I'll say to you now. Chopper.
I'm looking for... Well, if it isn't my old pal Chopper. I see you're informal tonight.
What do you mean?
You're not wearing your brass knuckles.
Boy, you...
Chopper. That's the way to act. Hello, Mr. Lowry. How's the newspaper racket?
Better than yours, Dutch. It pays regular.
Some sense of humor, this fellow, huh, boys? Yes, some sense of humor. You were in the police station when they questioned me. You come after me for something?
Yeah. A little information.
I told the police everything I know.
It isn't that. It isn't that. Holy mackerel. I know you didn't bump off one of your own men. It's just that I want some local color. We have to keep this story about Boots alive.
Oh, yes, I see. Boots is dead, but you keep the story alive.
Sure, it's good for the circulation. Why, I mean the newspaper circulation. So how about it? I guess you knew Lanigan as well as anybody did.
You got a car outside?
No, I grabbed a taxi.
All right, I have my car. You drive home with me.
Well.
I'll tell you about Boots. I'm all broken up, I can tell you that. You know, it doesn't do to fool with the law. Somebody's going to pay for shooting up poor Boots.
Listen to you. Oh, man, do I get a bang out of that. You've got a record that covers 3 pages of a police blotter, and you talk like a Dutch uncle.
Police blotter? That's all wrong. No, sir. I'm a good, honest citizen. It's all a mistake. But what happened to Boots? You ride with me, I'll tell you. Good night, boys. Don't stay up too late playing poker.
Good night, boss. That Fogo. Ain't he a pip?
Hey, he makes me nervous. Like a cat.
Come on, where was we?
I ain't gonna play no more. I'm tired.
What's the matter? You got weak knees about Boots?
I'm weak. I'm tired, I tell you.
Oh, my. Okay. That's the way you feel. Here's just $5 worth. Cash me in. Thanks. Now, give me my hat. So long, punks. Don't jump at your own shadows. Those lily-livered. Okay, you. What are you following me for? Come on, speak up, I said.
Have you got a match?
Yeah, listen, I got no time for... Yeah, I guess I can manage.
What's wrong? You nervous?
Me? There. Hey, Bud, how's... Hey.
Hello, Chopper.
Green Hornet.
You better drop it, Chopper. You'll burn your finger.
What do you want?
Too bad about poor Boots, wasn't it, Chopper? I feel awfully bad about Boots, Chopper. What do you say you and me go someplace and talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Oh!
I told you you'd burn your fingers, didn't I?
Who is it?
Chopper, boy.
Go away, Chopper. Just beginning to retire.
Oh.
You're worse than every porter. You've got every good reason for this, Chopper. I don't like being disturbed.
I get a plenty good reason. I run into somebody tonight, boss.
So? Is he dead?
Will you stop your kidding? Why didn't you tell us Lanigan was a pal of that guy?
Boots Lanigan had no friends. Only his one brother. He's far away. Besides, do I guess at riddles? Give it to me straight. Who'd you meet?
The Green Hornet.
Oh, you're the one who's making jokes.
You don't believe me?
Where'd you get that?
He gave it to me.
Seal of the Green Hornet.
I tell you, boss, I'm still shaking. There's something about that guy.
What did he want?
Said he didn't like the idea of Lanigan getting murdered. But he felt like he ought to make up for it.
Revenge, huh? But you're still alive, Chopper.
Sure, I couldn't let him...
Go on. All right, I'll finish for you. You couldn't let yourself be shot, so you told him I was the one who killed Boots. That's not nice, Chopper.
No. All I told him was it wasn't me. You gotta believe me, folks.
I don't believe you, Chopper. So I'm going to give you some bitter medicine like I gave Boots. A little lead poisoning, yes?
Fogel, I tell you...
No, I'll tell you. Don't try to squirm, Chopper. I may be fat, but I'm also strong. You're going to die.
Drop him, Fogel.
The Green Hornet, huh? I'll give you what I was...
No, you won't. Drop it! I'll get back. Dutch, this isn't the gun you used on Boots, but it'll do.
Hornet, wait now. Before you go to shoot me, let me point out how useless a thing like revenge is. No one ever benefits from it.
You always come up with a moral lesson, don't you?
I'm very sorry. I didn't know Boots was a particular friend of the Green Hornet. But if you would have done what I did, I had to shoot him for strictly business reasons. He was going to squeal on it.
Is that right, Chopper?
Yeah, sure.
It was a very important business matter, Hornet, about... But you wouldn't be interested.
About the Mariana?
Chopper sometimes talks too much.
I didn't...
Button your lip, Chopper. Well, Fogel, I don't know. Maybe you had your reasons for getting rid of Boots.
Yes, be sensible about it, Hornet. Why have shooting when it's not necessary? Besides, you're a smart operator. Perhaps we can arrange something.
The only kind of arrangements I can understand are about money, Fogel. Hard cash.
Yes, a man after my own heart. But of course, hard cash, Hornet. I'll tell you, I get, the people who want the Mariana sabotage given...
Don't hedge. You mean the Gestapo say the Gestapo?
All right, the Gestapo. They furnish all the money I need. You're welcome to a generous slice, my friend. As a matter of fact, a man of your reputation can come in very handy. What do you say?
Sounds all right. I'll think it over, Fogel.
Boss, I hear footsteps.
Huh?
He's right. Out in the hall. Lock that door, quick.
Hey, Fogel, open up. The police are here. They want to ask you a few more questions.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. But first, in modern war, the worker behind a machine is as much a soldier of democracy as the man behind a gun. America needs every skilled worker who can be found. Machine setup men, tool designers, draftsmen. Our war industries need more workers with skill in almost every trade. If you've had experience which you think might fit you for a war production job, and if you aren't now engaged in war work, register at once with the nearest office of the United States Employment Service. That office will tell you where you're needed, where you can serve the war effort best. You'll find the address in your phone book or ask at your post. Now back to our story. When a rap on the door announced the presence of police, the three men in the room froze abruptly. Britt Reed's eyes narrowed behind his hornet mask, and he flung a low-voiced question at Fogel.
Is there another way out of here?
No other way.
We're cut with a Green Hornet.
Quiet, you fool.
Oh, he's right. If I'm caught, you'll be jailed, too. You'll never be able to explain this away.
But there is no other way. This is 4 stories up, right below the roof.
Fogel, wake up!
Stall them.
Yes. Just a minute. I'll open the door.
That won't hold them long. You'll have... What's that?
I heard it, too. It came... Well, I'll be... Look. Why didn't you tell me you had a rope hanging from the roof right outside your window, Fogel?
I never knew.
You can open the door in 10 seconds.
It sure takes that lug a long time to come to the door.
Hello. You cops are always waking a man up. What is it this time?
You and Chopper, eh? Who else is here? Well, I guess you were wrong, Lowry.
There's just the two of us, Copper. I'm Fogel's bodyguard.
Yes, with Boots dead, I thought perhaps whoever got rid of him might have me next on the list. What were you looking for, Mr. Lowry?
Yeah, skip it, Dutch. I just thought I saw somebody else come in this joint after Chopper did. Guess I must have been seeing double.
Yes, I guess that's so.
You saved my life that time, Cato.
It's always very pleasant to do so, Mr. Britt.
If you hadn't spotted Lowry and the police and dropped that rope from the roof, the capture of the Green Hornet would be headline news tomorrow. I wouldn't care for that, even as a scoop for the Sentinel. We'll put the Black Beauty to bed and then get some sleep ourselves. Plenty of sleep. I have a feeling we won't do much after tonight. Not until Fogel's caught in that sabotage job he's planning.
It is the Mariana?
Yep, we guessed right on that one.
Oh, correction, please. You guessed right.
Fogel said we could work together on the job. I said I'd call him tomorrow night. What do you think?
Fogel tells truth like a Japanese ambassador.
You're right. But don't worry. I'm not trusting him further than I can throw the Sentinel building. The only trouble is I still don't know what he plans to do or when.
You look a little tired, Mr. Reed.
Oh, do I, Miss Case?
Well, I suppose you were out until 3 or 4 again this morning. Oh, gosh, Mr. Reed, you can't burn the candle all night long at nightclubs this way and expect to be on your toes in the daytime.
Well, I'll be on my toes. I'm no toe dancer. Besides, look at this view, Miss Case. How can anybody work in this kind of weather? Ah, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Look at the view of the riverfront.
It is lovely. Look, they're still working to salvage that ship. I haven't spotted that in a long time.
The Mariana?
Mm-hmm. I guess they're almost done, aren't they?
I don't know. I haven't heard, Miss Case. Oh, it's much too nice a day to stay in an office. I'm leaving, Miss Case.
You're leaving?
Yeah, you know all the work that has to be done. Goodbye, Miss Case.
But, Mr. Reed...
Oh, I've made up my mind. See you tomorrow.
But, Mr... Well, if that doesn't beat everything. All play and no work. Oh, still it is a beautiful day. Casey, none of that. You just work here.
Hey, Casey, where's the boss? I got news.
Well, didn't you see him? He just left.
No. Oh, I guess I missed him.
Whatever your news is, it'll have to keep till tomorrow. He's gone for the day.
Oh, well, it may not work out anyway.
Well, what is it?
The police. They just got a tip on where the Green Hornet will be at midnight tonight.
The Green Hornet?
Yeah, I'm going there with them. Casey, can you picture the headlines if this is on the level?
You certainly switch around, Lowry. Yesterday you were all hopped up about the Lanigan murder.
That? It's old stuff, Casey. Can't run a paper on yesterday's news.
No, I was just remarking. It seemed like such a mystery at the time. Good grief.
Hey, what gives? You look like a moonstruck goldfish.
Lowry, come here. To this window.
Now it's all the fuss.
Do you see that boat out there? The one that's rolled on its side?
Sure.
Do you know its name? I mean the new name the Navy gave it when they took it over for transport service.
Yeah, it's the, Oh, I got it. The Mariana. Yeah, that's it. The Mariana. Casey. Holy mackerel. Do you suppose that's what Lanigan meant?
I think you'd better call the police, Lowry. Might be a good idea if they doubled the guard on that ship.
Yes, that's right, Hornet. Perhaps we can meet tonight, to discuss the boat, you know. Well, a good place would be the old reservoir north of the city. It's not being used. And it is a good dark night, How about midnight? Yes, it is too bad our plans are not yet completed to do the little, shall I say, job on the boat tonight. But there will be other times. Then midnight, yes? The old reservoir. We shall meet later, Hornet. Goodbye.
Well, you got him out of the way.
The old reservoir. The police will be waiting for him, not I.
We'll be.
We'll be at the waterfront, under the wharves, ready to blow the Mariana to bits.
Some of the boys who've been watching say that they doubled the guard on the Mariana.
So? Then twice as many of them will be killed, Chopper? I don't worry about them. I worry about the Hornet. And that worry will soon be over. Forever.
How goes it, Sergeant? Did you find the Green Hornet?
That tip was phony, Lowry. We searched this old reservoir from rim to rim. Green Hornet isn't here. It's already midnight.
Hey, Sergeant! Sergeant!
Huh? What's up?
I just got a message on the short wave. Police call. No wonder the Hornet ain't here. He was spotted near the waterfront.
All right, Chopper. Let it drift.
Oh, it's black as pitch under these docks. Them piles are covered with barnacles. I scraped my hands.
Silence. We've prepared for this long enough for us to know this place blindfold. Right about here should be where we hid the oil barrels.
Not yet. First. Now we got it.
They should be. Yes. How many times have we rode down here with these oil barrels, Chopper?
20 times, a barrel each time. I ought to know I got blisters on my hands.
Yes, enough. Now we open them up and let the oil out. It'll flow directly down the Mariana.
I hope you're right about the current, boss.
Don't be a fool. The current is downstream, just right. Fast. 10 minutes after the last barrel is drained, the oil reaches the boat. Then we light it from here and... Goodbye, Mariana.
Here's the first one, boss. There. That's one. I'll hold the boat steady. Here goes for the next. That's the last one, Fogel.
Good. 12 minutes. Now push the boat upstream a little ways.
Guess that's okay.
Good. Now the flame so I can throw it toward the oil. So simple and so effective. I light this paper and set the oil aflame, and the oil sets the Mariana aflame. A match, Chopper.
Yeah, I got one right here.
Hey, what Fogel? I almost missed you, didn't I?
Turn off that flashlight. You'll be seen.
Green Hornet.
Hornet, turn off that
No, I
flashlight.
wanted to be seen, Fogel, and by the time they located you and
Watch
Chop...
out!
No, you don't drop that match.
Chopper.
Let go! Sure, I'll let go. And now?
Hornet, no,
Take
don't.
it, rats. All right, Kettle, that does it. Put the light in their boat and let's get out of here. What a story, Sarge. What a story. Do you mean to say those babies were all set to put the Marianne on fire?
20 barrels of oil on the water, Lowry. If it hadn't have been that we spotted that light under the dock, they'd have done it.
It sure was a close call.
Yeah, but what I can't figure out is they were both unconscious. Fogel and Chopper, both of them. It couldn't have been the fumes from the oil, could it?
It wasn't oil, Sarge. Why, your eyes. It was gas. Gas with that gut and the Green Hornet carries. And don't ask me where he's gone to. I'm a reporter, not a magician.
That's the Lexington papers. Gangsters caught in sabotage attempt. Confessed murder of Lanigan. Read all about it. Green Hornet still at large. Set in the Lexington
Men and women who are not yet working directly in the war effort are asking, where can I serve? Where am I needed? Am I needed now? And if not, when will I be needed? The answers to those questions are waiting for you at your local United States Employment Office. If you live in a war production center, they'll probably tell you either that you're needed now or that you soon will be needed, and where you may get free training for a war job. If you don't live in a war production center, they'll tell you not to move into one until they first find you a job and a place to live, because most war production centers already are overcrowded. For answers to every question about your individual place in the war effort, go to your local United States Employment Office. You've just heard the adventure, Sabotage Finds a Name. These exciting dramas are sent to you each Saturday at this same time. They are copyrighted features of the Green Hornet Incorporated. All characters, names, places, and incidents used in this drama are purely fictitious.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, the Shadow will be on the air with a thrilling new adventure. But first, let me tell you about a new kind of tire that makes wet weather driving safer than you've ever dreamed possible. It's the new Goodrich Silvertown tire with the Lifesaver tread. Next time it rains, just notice the way your windshield wiper sweeps the water right and left to give you clear, safe vision. Well, that's how the amazing Lifesaver tread on the new Goodrich Silvertown tire performs on a wet road. It sweeps the water right and left, forces it out through the deep drainage groove, makes a dry track for the rubber to grip, gives you the quickest non-skid stops you've ever seen. And you get this life-saving skid protection plus golden ply blowout protection at no extra cost. So play safe. Equip your car with Goodrich Safety Silvertown. Shadow, Lamont Cranston, a man of wealth, a student of science, and a master of other people's minds, devotes his life to righting wrongs, protecting the innocent, and punishing the guilty. Cranston is known to the underworld as the Shadow. Never seen, only heard. The Shadow's true identity is known only to his constant friend and aide, Margot Lane. Today's story, The Tomb of Terror.
And so, gentlemen, we are gathered here on the grounds of the City Museum to pay tribute to those who have successfully brought to this country the building that stands before you, the authentic tomb of the Egyptian pharaoh, King Khufra-Tep. It is my pleasure to present to you now the man who is largely responsible for its discovery, transportation, and reassembly. The director of the expedition, Dr. Romney Hale.
Thank you. Thank you. Directors of the museum and fellow workers, I am very grateful. It has been through your cooperation that this work has been made possible, although perhaps we owe a vote of thanks to good King Khufra-Tep himself. In spite of the legendary curse that all who gaze upon King Khufra-Tep's mummy shall die, the bulk of our job is finished. Now, before you are admitted for the inspection, will you excuse Mr. Avery, Mr. Johnson, and myself while we make a brief check of the interior of the tomb? Harry, Jack, will you come with me?
Surely, Doctor.
Well, certainly, Doctor. Well, gentlemen, how does the place look to you?
Why, Doctor, you've done an amazing job. It looks exactly as it did when we first unearthed it in Egypt.
Thank you. Would you like to pay your respects to His Majesty?
Oh, indeed I would, Doctor.
Very well. Will you help me with the lid of the mummy case?
Oh, sure.
There you are. Khufra-Tep the King, Lord of Egypt.
My, magnificent face. Yes, wonderfully preserved.
We are defying the ancient curse by looking upon that face.
Oh, come, Dr. Hale. Surely you don't believe
Look. Look at the mummy's eyes. Why, that's strange. They seem to glow.
I see it, too. A sort of unearthly light.
What is this, Doctor? A trick? No, gentlemen, I give you my word. I don't know what it could be.
The light's growing brighter. I don't like this. It's uncanny.
Close that case.
Let's get out of here, Doctor.
I can't understand it. If we hadn't all seen it, I would... Oh!
What's the matter? Take his arm, Jack. Let's get him outside.
Where did you... What's wrong? What's the matter with Dr. Hale?
I don't know. He suddenly collapsed. He was...
Jack, what's the matter with you? Someone get a doctor, quick. These two men are very ill. Harry, what happened in there?
Well, Mr. Rafferty, I was...
Harry!
Catch him. He's falling.
Harry. Here, man, tell me what happened.
Mr. Rafferty, it was... The eyes. The eyes.
Yes.
It's King Cooper Tep. Curse.
Doctor, tell me, how are they?
All three of these men are dead. Hold those fences.
What do you got, Chief?
A terrific yarn. Dr. Romney Hale, the archaeologist, and two of his assistants died mysteriously an hour ago in King Cooper's tomb. Play up the curse angle and spread it for all it's worth.
Right, too. Cream on his side.
Some of those donuts, too, please.
Oh, donuts? Lamont, do you suppose we can dunk?
Certainly, Margot. Lunch wagon etiquette not only allows dunking, it encourages it.
There's your donut, Chief. That'll be 26.
Here you are. We'll keep the change.
Ah, thanks. Say, bud, is there anything new on them guys that chicked off over at that coffee, Kipper, you know, that Egyptian king?
No, nothing new.
Hey, how about my ham on rye?
Right with you, right with you.
Just what do you make of that tomb affair, Lamont?
Just amazing. The newspapers are playing up the superstition fallacy.
You don't think that all three deaths were due to coincidence?
Hardly that, but I certainly don't hold to the Kufatep curse theory.
But something strange must have happened in that tomb.
Unquestionably.
According to the newspaper reports, one of the three men before he died was heard to mutter something about eyes, terrible eyes. And his last words were King Coopertep's curse.
They were undoubtedly terrified by something they saw in there. Did not die of fear.
Oh, I know. According to the doctors, they all died in natural death.
Yes, that's quite true.
One of pneumonia, one of typhoid, and one of heart disease.
That's the way the doctors had to write their death certificates. Perhaps when the truth is known, it'll have to be changed.
Changed? What do you mean, Lamont?
You finished eating?
Oh, yes.
Shall we take a walk?
Oh, all right, let's go.
Good night, boss.
Good night.
Night. Lamont, what did you mean the death certificates will have to be changed?
Three men do not die within seconds of one another of different diseases without a single underlying cause.
Oh, that's true.
Margot, the mysterious death of those three men has challenged the imagination of the shadow. I must find out the medical details of the deaths of those men.
Then you think there's more in it than the papers have printed?
I know there is.
I can get those details for you.
Good. As soon as you have the necessary information, communicate with me. The shadow will await your call. Hello.
Lamont, this is Margot.
Oh, yes, Margot. What did you find out?
I just talked to Dr. Burley, he's in charge of the case.
Yes?
He said that the three men actually died, as the papers said, but there was one detail that was not printed.
What is that?
Well, the doctors themselves don't seem to understand it, but an examination of the victim's blood has shown in each case a complete absence of leukocytes.
Leukocytes.
Yeah.
Those are white corpuscles.
Yes.
Do you realize what that means? Without white corpuscles in the blood, the human system would have nothing with which to combat disease. No wonder they died. Margot, this is the first key to the mystery. That's the shadow can find the answer to the next question within the museum walls.
I tell you, we must go through with the public opening of the tomb, as originally planned.
But will the public be there?
We'll have to take that chance. Gentlemen, I wish we'd never started this project.
Now, see here, Kent, you've been acting like an old woman about this whole thing.
But, Mr. Rafferty,
We've poured thousands of dollars of the museum's money into the tomb, and it's up to us to dispel this nonsense about the Coopertep curse.
I am not so sure that it is nonsense.
Rubbish.
Oh, you can't dismiss the fact that three men died.
They all died natural death.
I wouldn't be too sure about that, Mr. Rafferty.
Who's speaking? Who is that?
I am called the Shadow.
The Shadow?
I've heard of you. What do you want of us?
I've been investigating the deaths of your three colleagues. I've come to warn you that no one must be permitted within the walls of the tomb.
Why do you say that?
Because anyone who enters may not come out alive.
Are you implying that there is truth in the Coopertep curse?
I am telling you, Mr. Rafferty, I have reason to believe that the name of the curse of Coopertep is cold, premeditated murder.
Nonsense.
Not nonsense, Mr. Stevenson.
With all respect to your unsolicited information, we are not going to be intimidated by an unknown voice. Speak for yourself, Mr. Stevenson. I am inclined to respect the Shadow's warning.
Quiet, Kent. On what grounds, Shadow, do you base your statement?
You'll have to accept what I've said on faith.
I've had enough of that. Wait, Mr. Stevenson. We may learn more. No, I'm going to rid us of this hocus-pocus once and for all.
Yes. What do you propose to do, Stevenson?
I'm going into that tomb tonight, right now.
Don't do that, Mr. Stevenson.
I know what I'm doing, Shadow. Well, who'll accompany me? Don't tell me that you're all afraid.
Well, no, not at all.
But perhaps none of us should be too hasty.
Very wisely spoken, Mr. Rafferty.
Very well. Then I shall go alone.
You're very foolhardy, Stevenson.
We shall see. Who has the key to the tomb? I have, Mr. Stevenson, but... Now, give it to me. Mr. Rafferty, can't you persuade him to change his mind?
Don't you think, Stevenson,
Kent,
we might...
give me the key. Very well. Here you are. Thank you.
Now, wait. We'll accompany you to the door of the tomb.
All right.
You may be going to your death, Stevenson.
I'll chance that. Come along, men. Well, here we are. Have any of you changed your mind? Mr. Rafferty?
No, thank you.
Hawkins?
I prefer to wait outside.
I know there's no use asking you, Kent.
Don't go in there, Mr. Steve. Something horrible waiting for you in there.
Give me that flashlight. I'll find that out for myself.
He's in the tomb.
Nothing horrible has happened in here yet.
Don't touch the mummy case.
Oh, why not? Might as well make the investigation complete.
Don't, Stevenson. You mustn't. Can't any of you stop him.
What can we do?
I'm opening the mummy case.
We've got to get him out of there. I'll go myself.
Here, come back here, Ken.
Stevenson! I'm looking at the mummy's face. Hey, that's strange. There's something peculiar here.
Come away from that mummy, Stevenson.
Kent! Stevenson! I insist that you both come out of there at once.
But there's something here that I don't understand. There seems to be...
It's happened. He's choking.
Kent, bring him out here.
I'm trying to. Here. All right, Stevenson. Here, now just lean on me.
Stevenson. Man, what happened?
I looked at Goofa. He's dead. He's dead.
It's not possible.
The shadow was right.
Yes, gentlemen. Stevenson ignored my warning. Has perished. This should convince all of you that there is a ruthless killer masked behind the Kufratep curse.
Ladies and gentlemen, one warning from the shadow strikes fear into the hearts of his adversaries. Yes, and just one skid is enough to put the fear of wet, slippery roads into any motorist's heart.
The shadow knows. The thousands of motorists who are killed or injured every year when slithering skids throw cars out of control would never risk the danger, grief, and expense of riding on unsafe tires if they had another chance.
Motorists, I've already told you that the new Goodrich Silvertown tire will stop you quicker, safer on wet pavements than you've ever stopped before. But you don't have to take my word for it. Here are the facts. Exhaustive road tests of both regular and premium price tires of America's 6 largest tire manufacturers were made by the nation's largest independent testing laboratory, the Pittsburgh Testing Laboratory. And here's what they found. The new Goodrich Silvertown with Lifesaver tread gave greater skid resistance than any other tire tested. Yes, and that included those tires listed at from 40% to 70% higher in price. The Goodrich Safety Silvertown gave more non-skid mileage than any other tire tested in its own price range. Average 19.1% more miles before the tires wore smooth. That's performance in any car owner's language. The kind of performance that spells safer, more economical driving for you. Remember, there's double protection in these life-saving Goodrich Silvertowns at no extra cost.
Margot, what did you learn about Stevenson's death?
Well, Lamont, the doctors officially called it influenza.
What about the blood test?
It was the same as the others. The white corpuscles had been destroyed.
Just as I thought. That proves that Stevenson was murdered, too, and by the same instrument.
But, Lamont, what can that instrument be?
Maybe a serum, poison gas, I don't know. More important than the killing device is to find the killer's motive.
You found out something, Lamont?
Not exactly, but I saw a man at the museum about whom I should like to know more.
Who is he?
Aldous Kent, an assistant curator. I'm sure that he has more knowledge of this affair than he allows himself to show.
Why do you suspect him?
For several reasons. His apparent concern for Stevenson's safety was a bit overdone. For a scientist, he was surprisingly naive about the Kufratep curse, and most important, in spite of his outward fear, he followed Stevenson into the tomb. I'd like to know more about that man, Margot. And that's where you can help me.
Yes, Lamont, but how?
By visiting Kent as a newspaper woman. Interview him about his career. Find out whether he's interested in any branch of science other than archaeology.
He hasn't always been an archaeologist. He worked at many things.
For instance?
Well, before he went to work for the museum, he was employed as an assistant by Dr. Faber. You know, the well-known biologist.
Very interesting, Margot. That's all I'll have to know.
But, Lamont, does that have any bearing on the murder?
May have everything to do with them. I'll be able to answer that question after the Shadow pays a call on Dr. Faber.
Dr. Faber.
Eh? What? Who's that?
Don't be startled, Dr. Faber.
Who are you?
I am the Shadow.
Are you in this room? I can't see you.
I regret that I must remain in the shadows.
What do you want?
I am seeking information.
Well?
I would like to have you tell me what you know of Aldous Kent.
Kent? Aldous Kent? Well, he worked for me. He was my assistant for several years.
Yes, I know that, Dr. Faber. What kind of a man was he?
Very efficient laboratory man.
Why did he leave your employ?
Well, frankly, because he was dissatisfied. Kent was a very moody man. Felt that his work should be more fully recognized.
What sort of work did he do?
He was active in all the routine laboratory experiments.
Can you recall what some of those experiments were?
Well, let me see. Well, he made some really brilliant contributions to our work with the Röntgen ray. That's the X-ray, of course.
Yes, I know. Exactly what were those experiments?
We were varying the ray to determine its effect on animal life.
What was that effect?
Well, at one stage of the game, it was destructive. We developed a ray that was capable of destroying the white corpuscles in the blood of the laboratory animals.
It's enormously interesting, Doctor. Tell me, does such a ray have the same effect on human beings?
Oh, yes, it probably does.
Thank you, Dr. Faber. You have given me the solution to the mystery of the Kufratep curse.
I feel certain, Margot, that the machine of death is concealed somewhere within Kufratep's tomb.
But why must you go there tonight?
Because I can investigate without danger of interference. There's no time to be lost.
Can't you confront Kent with the information you already have?
No, Kent's a clever man. He might give him time to destroy the evidence. And we could pin nothing on him.
Yes, I see.
If I can uncover the deadly ray and positively identify Kent with it, we can be tricked into capture.
Here's the museum.
Turn this driveway. It's a precaution now. Switch off the headlights.
Lamont, I hate to have you going into that tomb alone. It's an eerie-looking place.
Nothing will happen to me.
Yes, that's what the others thought.
The others weren't aware of the real danger as I am. Hand me the flashlight, Margot.
Here you are.
Yep.
Wait, what's that over there among the trees?
Appears to be someone carrying a lantern.
Approaching the tomb. Lamont, who can it be?
Wait. I think I recognize him. Yes. The old watchman.
Oh. Shall you wait now until he goes?
I'm not sure that he's going. He seems to be entering the tomb.
Lamont, isn't it strange after all that's happened that he should dare to enter there alone?
Very strange, and I'm going to find out why. Won't need this flashlight, Margot.
What are you going to do?
It is the Shadow who will enter that tomb for a little conversation with the old watchman.
Shall I wait for you?
No. Take the car and return home. Stand by for the shortwave wireless. I may need your help in communicating a message of vital importance.
Good evening, Your Imperial Majesty. I've come again to see that you are resting well. Your work is nearly done. Only one more to gaze into your eyes. And then the vengeance is complete.
You have served me well.
Hey, who speaks?
Who indeed would speak within the resting place of the king?
Are you the...
Yes. It is I, Kufratep, Pharaoh of Egypt.
Oh, Your Majesty.
Rise up. You need not kneel in my presence.
Yes, Your Highness.
Do not tremble. You have nothing to fear.
You are not angry?
Angry? Why should I be angry toward one who serves my interests? I have come to reward you.
To reward me?
Yes. But first, I must have an accounting.
Well, what do you mean?
You must tell me how you brought death to the defilers of my tomb by the curse which bears my name.
Oh, the credit is not mine, Your Majesty.
Whose then?
Aldous Kent.
Aldous Kent? Why should he concern himself with me?
It is not your vengeance alone that he seeks, but his own as well, and mine. Kent is a great man, but no one would recognize him. They keep him slaving in the museum day after day, doing all the real work. Well, some others get the glory, just as they did to me. And now he's evening his score. Hale, Avery, Johnson, Stevenson, all those have paid for their stolen fame. But one more must die. Hawkins. And then Kent will achieve the position that is rightfully his.
Do you know how Kent destroyed those men?
Of course. I helped him, Your Majesty. Yeah, it was clever. So clever. They all scoffed at the legend of your curse, but it was really you who killed them.
I killed them?
Yeah, no one would dream that within your mummy there lies concealed the generator of the ray.
What ray?
The ray that shines from your eyes and destroys all who look upon you.
Show me how this is done.
It's so easy, Your Majesty. Here. Hidden here in the wall is a switch. You see? It is thrown like this. Then whoever approaches the mummy case, as I'm doing, and lifts the lid, so, and gazes into your eyes, the gleam of death shines upon them. Oh, what have I done? I didn't mean to look. I couldn't. Save me. Save me.
I cannot save you. Your own evil knowledge has destroyed you. But by your death, you have pointed the way to Aldous Kent's undoing. Margot Lane. Calling Margot Lane. Communicate with Rafferty, the director of the museum, at once. Tell him to arrange the public opening of the tomb tomorrow as planned. Be sure that both Kent and Hawkins will be there. This is important, Margot. Tell Rafferty that he must follow my directions implicitly. A man's life is at stake.
Before admitting the public, I have invited you, gentlemen of the press, to gather here to dispel once and for all this nonsense about the legend of the Cooper-Tep curse.
Well, just how do you propose to do that?
Well, Mr. Burke, as you know, the tradition is that everyone who looks at the face of the mummy dies.
Sure, I know that.
Now, this is Mr. Hawkins, gentlemen. He is the sole survivor of the Cooper-Tep expedition.
Yeah, we know Hawkins.
He has volunteered to show you that there is no truth in the stories that your newspapers have played into national prominence.
What's he going to do?
The mummy case will be opened in your presence, and Mr. Hawkins will personally gaze on Cooper-Tep.
Now, this ought to be good.
Are you ready, Mr. Hawkins?
Well,
very well, you may proceed.
Mr. Rafferty,
Go ahead, Hawkins.
Mr. Rafferty, I can't. I changed my mind.
What? But, Mr. Hawkins, do you realize what this means?
Yes, Hawkins, you must go through with it.
I'm afraid not, Kent. I've lost my nerve.
The prestige of the museum is at stake.
Well, you seem to have changed your attitude, Kent.
Well, I disapproved of this plan at the beginning, but as long as you've gone this far, I think you should carry it out.
Well, Kent is right.
Well, I'm sorry, but, well, when I think of the others, what happened to them, and seeing them die, I just can't.
Well, boys, looks like the show's over. Let's go.
Wait, gentlemen, don't leave. Now, Mr. Hawkins, if I volunteer to look on the mummy's face first, will you follow me?
Well,
That's certainly fair enough, Hawkins.
Very well.
Have I your permission to open the mummy case, Mr. Rafferty?
Yes, you have.
You're very brave, Mr. Kent.
Who's that? It's the Shadow.
The Shadow? Boy, what a yarn this is going to be.
Shadow, why are you here?
I anticipated your performance, Mr. Kent. and I came to see that it was carried out properly.
What do you mean by that?
Before you proceed, I suggest that somebody throw the switch concealed in the carving on the wall.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You do know, Mr. Kent. I want your demonstration to duplicate Hale's, Stevenson's, and the others. The switch was thrown then.
This is absurd. Here it is. I found the switch.
Please turn it on, Mr. Rafferty.
There you are. It's on.
Good. Now you may continue your little performance, Mr. Kent.
This whole thing is ridiculous. I refuse to be made a fool of.
Are you trying to back out?
I will not continue under these conditions.
I thought you wouldn't. You know that to look on the mummy's face when the switch is on would mean death.
That is not true.
But it is. And no one should know better than you. Concealed within that mummy is a murderous ray. That ray is your own conception.
That's a lie. There is no ray.
Then why don't you look on Coopertep now?
Because
Then you shall be forced to do so.
No.
Rafferty, Hawkins, leave the mummy case.
Come on, man. I won't. Let go. Let go.
Somebody left the lid of the case.
Let it go. I won't look.
Now, Aldous Kent, stare long into the eyes of Coopertep. You see the evil light that glows within them? That's what the others saw.
No. I did it. I confess. I killed him, but don't make me look at it. Ah!
He's dead. Then it's true. There is a ray.
Not any longer, gentlemen. I removed the machinery that generated that ray. All that you have just seen was carefully staged to trap Aldous Kent. He is dead. He died of fear. Fear of the thing which he himself created. You have all witnessed the end of the curse of Coopertep. A curse which fell justly on the true desecrator of the tomb.
You have been listening to a dramatized version of one of the many copyrighted stories which appear in the Shadow magazine, now on sale at your local newsstand.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows.
All the characters and all the places named are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! When we last saw him, Superman had just rescued Captain Anderson from the steamer Madison and had found the hidden papers in the ship's safe, just as the burning vessel exploded in a sheet of flame and a rain of falling shells. Today our story continues back in the offices of Perry White, city editor of the newspaper on which Superman works as Clark Kent. Captain Anderson has come up from the south after seeing his crew landed safely. And his sister, who is now out of the hospital, has joined him and Kent and Editor White for a discussion of further plans. Captain Anderson is talking. Listen.
No, sir, I can't tell you a thing about it. The last thing I remember is beating against the hull with that fire getting closer and closer just beyond the door.
But, Captain, how did you escape? Your boat crew picked you up out on the water with a life preserver on.
Yes, Vince, how do you explain that?
I don't explain it, June. I tell you, I don't understand it at all. What do you think, Mr. Kent?
Well, really, Captain Anderson, maybe you were blown out of the ship by the explosion.
My men say the explosion came afterwards.
Well, it's just one of those mysteries of the sea. We'll have to let it go at that. Oh, what do you got there, Kent?
Why, it's a package a friend of mine in the Coast Guard sent me. Take a look, Miss Anderson.
Why, Mr. Kent, it's mine.
Why, that's it. That's the one June gave me.
What? You mean to tell me that's the package of papers that was in the ship's safe?
It certainly is.
Mr. Kent, where did you get it?
Well, I told you. A friend of mine in the Coast Guard found it floating in the water.
Well, that shows you what a high explosive will do. Here's a package locked away in a safe. Bang comes the explosion, and it's found floating around like a...
Like a dead fish?
Yes.
Well, never mind how it got there. The main thing is we have it. Miss Anderson, what's in it?
I'll show you, Mr. White. First of all, letters from Pemberton to a man named Bailey, their representative out west, practically admitting what they're doing.
Let me see it.
What else?
Well, then here's what they said was a map of the North Star Mine, 3 miles southeast of Canyon City.
Well, what else, June? Why was all this business so all-fired important?
This letter alone's enough to put them behind the bars.
And here's the rest of it. A report from the government assay office saying that the ore from the North Star Mine is absolutely worthless.
Well, what do you think?
And they went on selling stock after that?
Yes. That's when I realized they were crooked.
Well, Kent, what about it? Any ideas?
Where did they live, June?
They had a house out in Green Park with a Filipino houseboy, number 23 Durant Street. Mr. Kent, where are you going?
I don't like the idea of sitting and waiting for things to happen. There may be something out at their house the police haven't found.
Who do you think you are, Kent? Sherlock Holmes?
Well, you never can tell, Mr. White. Do you mind?
No, of course not. I'm running an information bureau here, not a newspaper. Don't bother about me.
Well, I'll just have a quick look around. 23 Durant Street.
I'll stay here with June and check over these papers.
Good luck, Mr. Kent.
Thanks, Miss Anderson. I may need it.
Go ahead, Kent. Go ahead. Take all the time you want. But if you do happen to run into a story, just try and remember who you're working for, will you?
I won't be long, Mr. White. And if I don't find anything, I'll be right back. So long. Doesn't sound like much, but it pays to look around. I'll just drop down into Green Park and have a chat with that Filipino houseboy. He may know more than he's told the police. Here we are. And there's Durant Street, with not a soul in sight. I'll just change back to Clark Kent, reporter, and see who answers the door. Down. Well, looks deserted, all right. I'll try the bell. Hope somebody answers it. I'd hate to spoil this place by kicking in the door, and I do want to look around inside.
What you want, please?
Oh, gee, you surprised me. Can I come in?
No.
No? Look, I'm from a newspaper, Daily Planet.
No.
Wait a minute. Now, listen. How long since you've heard from your boss, Mr. Pemberton?
No.
Well, he evidently means no. Too bad, boy. If you don't want Clark Kent around, let's see how you feel about Superman. Might attract attention if I ruin the door. I'll just jump up on the roof and try the skylight. Here goes. And there's the skylight. Or rather, there was the skylight. Now, down the stairs to see what's what. If that houseboy sees me, he's certainly going to be surprised. This looks like somebody's room right here. And there's a desk, if the police have left anything in it.
Hey, what you do there? How you get in?
Oh, don't know me in my other clothes.
You get out. Get out quick.
Hey, put that gun down.
You no go, I shoot. I count 3.
Make it 10. Make it 100.
1, 2, 3. Oh, what's the matter? You no get hit.
Come closer and try again. Come a lot closer and you'll see how bullets bounce.
Hey.
All right, that's enough. I haven't any time to waste. Here's what happens to little Filipino boys who play with guns.
Let go. You let go.
Where are your bosses, Pemberton and Deneen? Quick, where are they?
I not know.
Don't tell me that. I can see it on your face as plain as day. Where are they? One more chance. Telephone. Who's calling this house on the telephone? Answer it.
No.
I said answer it. And if it's either of your bosses, just act natural.
Oh, please, no go to phone. They say...
Go on. What did they say?
They say they kill me.
Not over the phone. Get that receiver. And do just as I tell you. Go on.
Hello, please.
Hello. Is that you, Sita?
Yeah, this is me, boss.
Now listen. Do just as I tell you and do it fast.
Okay, boss.
Look in the desk in my room, and back of the second drawer, you'll find another drawer. You get that?
Yeah, I get it.
Now, in that drawer is an envelope with traveler's checks. Get it and put it in the mail.
Ask him where he is, quick.
Boss, where mail to, please?
Address it to John J. Jones, General Delivery, Canyon City, Idaho. You got that?
Yeah. That all, please?
That's all. Anybody been at the house?
Say no.
No, boss.
Okay. If anybody comes and asks for me, say you don't know a thing. So long, Sita.
Traveling under the name of Jones, is he? And he'll touch at Canyon City, Idaho. Much obliged, Sita.
How you hear that?
Never mind. But get this. You saw how those bullets bounced off my chest.
Yeah, I see.
Well, I'm going now. But if you breathe a word about my coming here today, I'll be back.
No, I no tell.
That's good. Because if you do, if you ever tell anybody, I'll come back here and bounce you off the sidewalk the way those bullets bounced off me.
No,
All right. Only be sure you remember it. Now I'm leaving you. Up through that skylight the way I came in. So long, Sita. What luck. Canyon City, Idaho. And I bet I scared that houseboy out of a year's growth. Now back to the paper. If you ask me, the North Star mining story is getting hotter every minute. Heading back toward town, Superman streaks through the sky. And presently, in the office of Editor White.
Well, Kent, this is the luckiest break I ever heard of. Canyon City, eh?
Mr. White, according to the map Miss Anderson showed us, Canyon City is near the North Star Mine.
What? You mean they're heading out there to the mine? Why?
Well, Chief, I don't know for sure, but I can guess. They don't know about the papers being found.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, maybe they figure if they can get out there and ruin the mine, wreck it for keeps, nobody'll ever be able to prove it wasn't all right.
Kent, I'll take a chance. You're free to go where you like. Hire a plane. Get out there. I want you on the spot when those fellows are caught. I'll notify the local police.
Oh, Mr. White, don't do that.
Why not?
Well, they're probably traveling by car. If we leave now by plane, the Andersons and I, we'll get there first.
What of it?
Well, don't warn the police. Do you want every paper in the country to get that story?
But what if you run into them out there? You and the girl and Anderson.
Well, if we do, I can handle it all right.
You? Alone? Well, who do you think you are? Superman?
Gee, gosh, no, Chief. I mean, we'll be all right.
Okay, Kent, okay. Get your money and get going. And good luck. And phone if anything happens.
Well, almost gave myself away that time. Do I think I'm Superman? Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. White, I do.
Down to the airport, into a fast plane with Captain Anderson and his sister June. Over the Alleghenies, over the great basin of the Mississippi, west and still west to the cold, high stillness of the Rockies. When suddenly, unseen disaster comes creeping along the wings, invisible to the passengers in the plane's cabin.
Where are we now, Mr. Kent? Have you any idea?
Your brother's the navigator, Miss Anderson.
Don't ask a sailor to find his way around up in the air. Besides, it's black as ink outside. I can't see the stars.
Oh, we went through a snowstorm a while ago.
Still in it. If you want me to make a guess, Miss Anderson, I'd say we're pretty close to Idaho.
Getting tired, June?
Oh, no. But I'm anxious to see what's going to happen.
So am I.
Say, what's wrong here?
Oh! Oh, what an awful lurch. It threw me right against the wall.
Watch it, we're tipping.
Say, something is wrong.
Mr. Kent, go ask the pilot. I'm frightened.
Look, he's opened his door.
All right, folks, take it easy.
Oh, what's wrong?
Ice on the wings, and one of the ailerons is stuck. I can't work it loose.
What? Frozen? How can you fix it?
I can't. Ordinarily, I'd go down to warmer air, but the mountain peaks are too high around here.
Oh, we're going sideways again. Vince, look out.
Hey, how about this? We're slipping down.
Pilot, what do you say?
I don't know. We're in a tough spot.
Kent, where are you going?
Out on the wing. Got to clear that ice off.
Hey, watch what you're doing.
Mr. Kent, come back.
Say, that boy's got nerve. He's out on the wingtip. You can just see it. Kent! Kent!
Where is he, Vince? Well, he was hanging on that wing, and now he's gone. He's gone!
High over the wildest and cruelest peaks of the Continental Divide, while snow whirls about the wings and ice holds the plane in its deadly grip. And what of Clark Kent? What has happened? Did he lose his grip when the wing snapped and go plunging downward through the dark? Tune in with us next time and follow the exciting transcription, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look, it's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look, it's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman!
And now, Superman. When we saw him last, Clark Kent was out on the wing of an airplane, trying to free it of a deadly coating of ice which was sending the ship to certain destruction on the rocky peaks below. The plane was heading westward, carrying Kent and the Andersons toward the North Star Mine, where they hope to make final contact with the two gold mine swindlers, Pemberton and Deneen. Fearfully, the group in the cabin watched Kent crawl out through the dark and the snow. Then a scream from June Anderson. The plane took a sudden, sickening plunge, and Clark Kent vanished. Listen.
He's gone! He's fallen!
June, stop that!
I tell you, he's fallen!
Pilot, do something quick!
Hang on! We're going into a tailspin!
We're plunging down!
Goodbye, Clark Kent. For the next few minutes, it's up to Superman. That plane, it's out of control, falling fast. I've got to get under it. What's below us? Looks like the worst part of the Rocky Mountains. Not much time. Here goes.
Pilot, shut off that motor. It's just pulling us down fast.
Oh, no, it's our only chance.
How high up are we?
1,000 feet to go. Less than that. 500.
Oh! We hit something! It's moving down!
We're slowing. We're leveling off. What's happened?
I don't know. We're stopping right in midair.
Look, we've stopped. We've stopped moving.
Oh, what is it? I think I'm going mad.
We're on the ground.
It's not possible. I can't believe it.
Say, was anybody hurt?
Mr. Kent!
Kent! We thought you were gone.
Me? Gosh, no, Captain Anderson. I just hung on by an eyelash until... Oh, say, pilot, that was the neatest landing I ever saw. Congratulations.
Why, Kent, I didn't... What do you mean?
Why, you set her down like a feather in the only level spot for miles. Well, so long, folks. Make yourselves comfortable.
Mr. Kent, where are you going?
To get help or borrow a car. I see lights down the valley away. You ask me, we're mighty close to where we want to be.
Meanwhile, in the light of a flickering oil lamp far down in the cold, damp galleries of the North Star Mine, Pemberton and Deneen raised their heads to listen.
Hey, put that a minute, Bart. I hear something.
Here. Someone's coming. Douse the light.
Look, he's got a light himself. It's Bailey.
Oh, all right. Light up again. This way, Bailey.
Say, here's the stuff you sent me into town to get. And I brought back something else, too.
What is it?
News. There's a guy just blew in looking for a car. And he's looking for the North Star Mine, too.
What?
Who is he?
Don't know, Chief. But he got here in a plane with 2 other guys and a girl.
A plane?
Yeah. Cracked up just out of town. So this guy come looking for a car to bring the others back in. He wears glasses and talks like an Easterner.
Where's glasses?
Listen, I'll bet it's that reporter. Clark Kent. Who else? Where is he now, Bailey?
Well, by this time, he's probably on his way right here. He's had plenty of time.
Bart, what do we do?
Here. Here's what we'll do. It's our chance to get that Anderson girl for keeps. Bailey, you go back and meet them on the road, just as they get here.
Okay, Chief, then what?
Let me think. Wait a minute. I have it. You tell Kent, he's the one with the glasses, see, that you're the sheriff. And you've been chasing him ever since he left town.
Chasing him? What for?
Now, get this. You say his editor's been calling him on the phone from back east. Wants to speak to him right away. And you'll take him to town with you.
Bart, what about the others?
Leave them here. Joe, you and I will handle the girl and whoever else there is. Now, you got that, Bailey?
Listen, what do I do with this guy?
Can't you guess? Only make sure it's quiet and complete.
Okay, I'd better hurry. They'll be here in a minute.
All right, come on, Joe. Run for the elevator. We'll go up on top and wait. Come on, make it fast.
Say, is any one of you folks named Clark Kent?
Why, yes. I'm Clark Kent.
Boy, am I lucky. I'm the sheriff here, Mr. Kent.
Oh?
You're wanted back in town on the telephone. Fella named White.
Gosh, I wonder what's on his mind.
I think you'd better go, Mr. Kent. It might be important.
Might be. It is, if he telephoned 2,000 miles.
Look, I'll run you back in my car if the other folks want to stay here.
Are we anywhere near the North Star Mine, Sheriff?
Just about falling right into it.
Go ahead, Kent. June and I'll be safe enough. In case Pemberton and Deneen show up, I'll handle them.
Oh, come along if you're coming, young fella. That guy on the phone sure was in a powerful sweat. Jump right in here with me.
All right. I won't be long, Miss Anderson. Better stay by the car, Captain.
Now, what do you say we build a fire, June? Light up the scenery a little.
All right. I'll look around for some wood. Wait.
What's the matter?
There in the dark. I thought I saw something move.
No.
Oh, no! Let me go!
Hey, what is this cotton blood?
I got him. The sailor's out like a lark.
Neat work, Joe. This is the best thing that could have happened.
You think Kent hurt us, Bart?
No, not a chance. And anyway, Bailey's taking care of him. All right, drag her back to the elevator. When this mine blows up, Joe, in less than 10 minutes, every bit of evidence against us will blow up with it. Come on.
Say, what about this, Sheriff? We've been traveling quite a while.
Don't you worry.
Where's the town? Where are we going?
We ain't going. We're stopping right here.
Hey, what's the idea?
Get out, Kent. Go on, move.
But I don't want to get out. Where's the telephone? Say, what's the idea of that gun?
What's the idea of meddling into our affairs?
Your affairs?
Never mind. You sure won't meddle long. I'm going to fix you while Pemberton and Deneen fix them others. Now stand up and take it.
Watch what you're doing.
No use trying to run. I see you, and I never miss. Got him, just like that.
That's what you think, Sheriff. See how you like this.
Hey, what the... Get back away!
I'm somebody who's come to give you a lesson in manners. That'll take care of your car, and this will take care of you.
Leaping high in the air, Superman streaks for the entrance of the mine and drops into the inky blackness of the shaft.
Miss Anderson! Miss Anderson! Where are you? What's that? I hear something. I hear them talking. Pemberton and Deneen. Right through the galleries of the mine. That's where they are. What? They're going to blow it up. No time to find the entrance. I'll just drive straight to it through the solid rock. Here goes.
Now then, Miss Anderson, this is the last time you'll interfere with the affairs of the North Star Mining Company.
Better get moving, Bart.
Let me go! Let me go!
Don't waste your voice, Miss Anderson.
Come on, Bart. Less than 2 minutes to go. We gotta grab that elevator and blow.
Goodbye, Miss Anderson. In 2 minutes, you and the entire North Star mine will vanish in smoke and flame, with all the evidence against Joseph Deneen and Bartley Pemberton.
Bart, will you hurry? You want us to get blown up, too?
Au revoir, Miss Anderson. All right, Joe. Quick, run for the elevator.
Stop! Stop! Don't leave me here!
I heard them, the devils. Leaving her there to die when the mine blows up. Only seconds to go now. There, almost in. One more wall to smash through. This'll do it. There.
Get me out of here, quick!
Miss Anderson, don't worry.
Who are you? I heard you. I thought the mine was falling
That's
in.
just what it will do if we don't get out of here quick.
No!
Here, I'll just pick you up. Don't be frightened.
Hurry! Hurry!
Now. No time to run. Down the gallery. And up the shaft in one bound.
Quick! I hear it! The explosion!
Up, and we're away!
You're sure you're all right, Miss Anderson?
Mr. Kent, I tell you, I saw him. He carried me out of that gallery and up the shaft, right up to where you found me. A tremendous man in a blue costume with a flowing red cape. A Superman.
Oh, now, Miss Anderson. Now, just take it easy. Here comes your brother. Look who he's got with him, Pemberton and Deneen.
Now then, you swabs, that's all I want from you. I've got you, and I got you good. In 2 cents, I'll give you some more. Now stand still, you two.
Look what I found after the explosion, right near where the shaft was.
It's just broken rock. Old rusty bits of rock.
Miss Anderson, that's gold.
Gold?
Yes, it is. Pure gold. Here, look. Look at these nuggets. And I saw the vein, too. The explosion opened it up. Well, what do you think of that, Miss Anderson?
You mean the mine is good, after all?
It is now. And all the people who put their money into it, the poor old women that Pemberton thought he'd swindled, well, they'll get it back, and more.
Let me see that. Stand back, you.
Mr. Kent, I can't believe it. Where are you going?
There's another prisoner out there somewhere. He called himself a sheriff. I'm going to pick him up, and then I'm going to phone my paper about that Superman you saw. It's the best story of the month, Miss Anderson. So long.
Looks as if Clark Kent might have a good deal to explain when he gets back east. When people begin checking up, on Superman. But there's another mystery brewing, another incredible adventure which puts everything else to one side. Be sure you tune in the next installment and follow the story. Tune in with us next time and follow the exciting transcription, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Say, want a brand new breakfast idea? Then get the Betty Crocker cereal tray, the Betty Crocker cereal tray. Yes, indeed. Try the brand new cereal assortment with 10 individual packages in all. 4 Wheaties, 4 Cheerios, 2 Kicks. All top favorites and all extra fresh. Yes, it's fun to take your pick from Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kicks. Get the Betty Crocker cereal tray, the Betty Crocker cereal tray. Get that tray today.
And now, the Betty Crocker cereal tray presents... The Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies who try to destroy our America. With his faithful valet Cato, Britt Reed, daring young publisher, matches wits with the underworld, risking his life that criminals and racketeers within the law may feel its weight by the sting of the Green Hornet. Ride with Britt Reed in the thrilling adventure of The Man on Top. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3. Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kicks. You get all 3 in the Betty Crocker cereal tray. 10 separate packages of your 3 top favorite breakfast cereals, all in one handy carton. Each package holds just enough for 1 good serving. You open a fresh package every morning. That way, there's nothing wasted, nothing left over to throw out. You get exactly the right amount of cereal and at its crispest, freshest best. That's mighty important in these days when President Truman wants us all to fight against food waste. Try the Betty Crocker cereal tray with the 10 separate no-waste packages of your 3 top favorites, Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kicks. Get it soon. Concerned about his son, Britt Reed's father came east to seek information. Britt laid his cards face up on the table, admitting to his father that he was the Green Hornet. Much to Britt's surprise, the older man was pleased. He agreed with Britt that there was need of an individual who could serve the ends of justice without regard for legal red tape, just as one of Britt's ancestors had done in the early West. Gunnigan, the city editor of the Daily Sentinel, came to work as usual at 9 a.m. None of the reporters knew that the founder of the Daily Sentinel had arrived in the city. Gunnigan himself didn't know it. He removed his coat, pulled up his sleeves, and sat down at his desk. He scanned a sheet of copy.
What's this?
Gunnigan grabbed the sheet of typing and bounced to his feet.
What?
Gunnigan, what's the matter?
This is the end. I'm going to have a showdown with Britt Reed.
What's the matter with Gunnigan?
What does he think I am around here? An office boy? Things like this should be discussed with me. It's about time I found out where I stood. Miss Case?
Well, good morning, Gunnigan.
Good morning, my eye. Is Britt Reed in?
Not yet.
If he was, he'd have his door closed. Axford, what are you doing here on time?
What's eating you, Gunnigan?
When he comes in, I'm going to have a showdown.
No, Gunnigan.
Showdown?
Who does he think I am? That's what I want to know. Why, confound it, I was in the slot when he was in the kindergarten.
Well, he got out of kindergarten, but you're still in the slot.
That's right. I'm still the city editor, and by thunder, I'll be consulted on important matters like this or know the reason why.
You're speaking of that reward item?
Yes, of course I am. For years, the Sentinel's been offering a reward for the capture of the Green Hornet. Now, without a word to me, with neither consultation or conference, the reward is withdrawn.
But, Gunnigan...
For years, I've had to practically run this paper. Then, all of a sudden, Britt decides to stop being a playboy and take over. Well, that's all right. That's the way it should be. But he can't ignore me. I won't stand for it. If he thinks he can ease me out of the picture, he's wrong. By thunder, I quit!
That makes 10 times that I know of.
Oh, me. Who said that?
I said that. And I wrote the statement withdrawing that reward. So you're still quitting periodically, eh, Gunnigan?
Mr. Reed. Casey, I asked you if Britt...
You didn't ask about his father.
Mr. Reed, I didn't mean... I didn't know you were here.
If you were on your toes, you'd have canceled that reward some time ago. The police don't want the Green Hornet. There's not a single charge against him.
Well, it never occurred to me that he had cleared his name.
If it should have occurred to you. Cadaverous old hairpin.
Oh, boss. Gosh, it's just like old times to hear you sound off.
How are you, Gunnigan? Shake hands.
Yeah.
And say that you're glad to see the old man back.
You know I am.
You haven't aged a bit.
Yeah.
You look just as gray and unhealthy as you did when I went away.
Thanks. Now, how long are you going to be in town, Mr. Lee?
It's hard to say. How's my boy been doing?
He's really taken a hold of things the last few weeks. You saw how we covered the Larson story.
Larson? Oh, yes. He's the leader of that gang that was picked up for selling narcotics. Oh, it's Reed. Hello, Reed.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Reed.
Looks like open house. What's new, Gunnigan?
You're more likely to know than I am. I've got to get back to my desk.
Well, what's the matter with Gunnigan?
Oh, he's nettled because he wasn't consulted about withdrawing the Hornet reward.
Oh, I thought he'd be.
Come into your office, Britt. I want to talk to you.
Right.
By golly, Gunnigan's face was something to look at.
I've been writing a follow-up on the Green Hornet, telling why the reward has been withdrawn.
Oh, good.
I've told just exactly where the Green Hornet stands with the law. I'm letting people know he's not a crook. I'm revealing a lot of things that people never knew.
Well, don't tell the world that he's your son.
No, but I wish I could. I'm proud of it.
But we've got to keep the identity
I
secret.
know that, Britt, I know it. But I'd like to tell the police commissioner
Oh, damn.
how Jimmy Higgins is my oldest friend. We rode together in Texas nearly 50 years ago. I know that he can be trusted.
Let me think it over.
Britt, now Higgins needs your help.
He has the Larson gang in jail. Won't that smash the dope ring?
Larson's not the leader of that outfit.
No? Then who is the man on top?
John Grayling, head of the Atlas Medical Supply.
Scott. He's a prominent man.
Very few people know about Grayling. The commissioner is keeping it a top secret. He told me in the hope that I could get the help of the Green Hornet.
But if Higgins knows Grayling is the head man...
Now, Britt, you became the Green Hornet because of the many cases where the hands of the police were tied by red tape. Now, this is one of those cases.
All right, Dad. I'll meet the commissioner as the Green Hornet. Make a date for 9 o'clock.
At 8:30 that evening, Britt Reed was ready to move out in his disguise as the Green Hornet. Cato was at his side, and so was his father.
Dad, I'm going to show you where we hide our car. At the back of the clothes press is a sliding panel.
Why, there's a passage behind that wall.
Follow me. Come along, Cato.
Yes, sir. Stepping through the secret panel in the rear of the closet, Britt Reed led the way through a narrow passage built within the walls of the apartment itself.
This passage leads to an adjoining building on the dark side street.
That old place has been abandoned for years.
That's what everyone thinks. But wait till you see.
Looking down from the small balcony in the supposedly abandoned building, the senior Reed saw the sleek, super-powered Black Beauty, the streamlined car of the Green Hornet.
Holy smokes, Britt. You've really been working.
Well, Cato did a lot of it.
The corridor between the walls of the apartment, the secret doors, and this old building. And that car. So that's the Black Beauty.
That's right, Dad.
Well, I'll be... I want to see what you and Cato did to the engine. I want to look it over from stem to stern. In fact, I want to drive it. I wish that I had more time right now, but I haven't. I'll have to see it some other time. Got to get over to the commissioner's house.
Cato will take you over in the convertible.
Good. Now, Jim Higgins will drive his car to your meeting.
Don't forget the plans.
We're to drive through the park, stopping at the old oak tree, and wait there until the Green Hornet stops across the road.
That's it, Dad. I'll see you later.
The old oak tree, Cato. I went there many times when Britt was a little boy. We used to make camp beneath the old oak tree and play cowboy and Indian.
Brett stepped into the Black Beauty and pressed a button. The great car roared into life. A section of the wall in front raised automatically, then closed as the gleaming Black Beauty sped into the darkness. Dressed as the Green Hornet, Britt Reed parked the Black Beauty and looked at the official car at the opposite curb beneath an old oak tree. It was a curious sensation after so many years of dodging the police to sit quietly while the commissioner himself approached.
I know exactly how you feel, Commissioner. I feel the same way.
I'm satisfied that you're all right. You have a good man on your side.
Let's make this as brief as possible.
Are you someone I know?
Skip it. Now, what about Grayling? How'd you get a line on him?
When Lawson was captured, he had in his possession an odd-looking key. His desperate efforts to get rid of that key aroused my suspicions. I turned it over to a couple of my most trusted detectives. They located the locksmith who made it. He said he had made several like it for John Grayling.
Indicating a connection between Grayling and Larson.
I knew that Lawson was not the top man of the dope ring. I suspected that Grayling might be. So I had Lawson brought to my office for a talk. Incidentally, he blames you for his downfall.
That's a compliment.
I intimated that the Green Hornet had been seen frequently near Grayling's suburban estate.
Why?
I was baiting Lawson, and it worked.
How?
Lawson jumped to the conclusion that Grayling had double-crossed the gang by sending the Hornet to get them before he could collect their share of the profits. Lawson was mad, and he talked.
About Grayling?
Yes, he named Grayling as the man on top, and told about a vault in Grayling's basement where the drug supply is stored. This is the key I took from Lawson.
The one he tried to get rid of.
Yes, it will open that vault, but if it's used, the contents of the vault will be destroyed.
Destroyed?
Opening the door by force or with this key will make an electrical contact, like the contact that turns on the light inside a modern refrigerator. That contact will do something to destroy the evidence. It will drop the evidence into a sewer or fire an explosive charge or something of that sort.
Larson didn't know what?
No. Grayling has just begun to take Lawson into his confidence. He gave him this key and told him about the safety key.
The safety key?
It's to a hidden lock that cuts off the power and makes it safe to open the vault. Grayling has that key, and he's the only one who knows where the lock is located.
Can the electric power be cut off outside the house?
The current comes from batteries inside the vault.
Have you tried to find this secret lock?
Yes. I've had a man in the Grayling home posing as a meter reader for the electric company and another as a telephone repairman. They've given me a complete layout of Grayling's home and the location of the vault. But they couldn't find the lock. It's up to you.
You have evidence enough to pick Grayling up.
But I want the contents of that vault. If we move in the usual way, Grayling will make sure that the evidence is destroyed. We'll have to make the arrest in the morning. I'd hoped you might be able to do something tonight.
Who knows about Grayling?
Just a trusted few of us.
I want to see Grayling behind bars just as badly as you do.
Here's the Lawson key and a floor plan of the house. Oh, there's one thing more you should know.
Oh, what's that?
Every part of Grayling's house is protected by a burglar alarm. I don't know how you're going to get in, but I'm confident that I haven't underestimated the Green Hornet.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. It's fun choosing your breakfast cereal from the Betty Crocker cereal tray. Every morning you can choose a different one. Kix one morning, Wheaties the next, and Cheerios the next. All three top favorites. Get the Betty Crocker cereal tray from your grocer now. Now, back to our story. After his meeting with the police commissioner, Britt Reed considered his problem while he guided the Black Beauty home. In his apartment, he discussed his plans with Cato, then called Linda Travis.
We'll need help on this one, Cato. It's the toughest assignment we've ever had.
Yes, Mr. Britt.
And I've never been more eager to succeed. Hello, Linda. You're needed. If you can be at the corner in half an hour, a black car will stop for you. I hope the commissioner is home.
Oh, mask and weapon ready.
Cato, you may need a weapon. Take the .38. Hello, Commissioner. You know who this is? Please listen carefully. If my plan succeeds at all, it will have done so between now and midnight. Have men standing by to move in on Grayling at a moment's notice. Step in, Linda.
Thank you. Well, what do you want me to do?
Help Cato and me get the top man in the drug racket. His name is John Grayling.
What can I do?
You'll have to set off a burglar alarm and get captured by Grayling and the henchman who lives with him. Then you'll have to put on an act. It'll have to be good. Now listen carefully. I'll brief you.
With the Black Beauty parked in the darkness nearby, the Green Hornet and Linda worked at a French door in the rear of Grayling's big suburban home.
You have a notebook and pencil?
Yes.
As soon as this lock is forced, the alarm will sound. After that, you're on your own. You ready?
Ready? I can hear the alarm.
Quickly. Step inside and get caught.
In here, Greek. The den. I'm with you, boss. Quiet. The girl. And how? Stand where you are. You're covered.
You're John Grayling.
Who are you?
Linda Travis of the Daily Sentinel. I did a story on the Larson capture.
A reporter.
Yes. Oh, please put that gun away. I'm not armed.
I can see that, boss. There's no gun hid under that outfit. I'll take your purse. Now go into my study. I want to talk to you.
Oh, you'll have to show it to me.
Through that door and to the right. Greig, cut off that confounded burglar alarm. And fix the lock on that door. Right, boss. There's a switch right over here. Get going, Miss Travis.
This is a beautiful home. I wish I were here under different circumstances.
There. That'll stop the clanging. Hope that dame didn't bust the lock on the door.
Sorry, Greek.
What the... Oh!
I did it. I'll ease him to the floor so he doesn't fall with a thud.
You need help?
Just watch him, Cato. If he starts to come to, rap him again. In just 10 minutes, turn that switch and start the burglar alarm again. Then, after a couple of minutes, turn it off.
Will 10 minutes be enough time for things that must be done?
It'll be time enough for me to fix things at the vault. And I hope it'll be plenty for Linda.
Certainly taking Greig a long time to close that door.
Oh, I'm afraid the lock was broken.
Miss Travis, I insist on knowing why you came here.
You know, Mr. Grayling, you're not at all as I'd pictured you. You're a marvelous subject for an article. A human interest article.
You're guilty of breaking and entering. Aren't you afraid your paper will fire you for that?
The Sentinel wouldn't like it, but... No. No, I'm not afraid. You're not the type to report me to the police. Or to my boss. Now, you're the kind of man who handles things on the spot.
Miss Travis.
Oh, you're hurting my wrist.
Why did you come here?
Oh, please, Mr. Grayling.
Tell me.
All right, I'll tell you. Please let me go. I'll tell you. You'll know anyway in a little while.
I'll know what?
Larson has talked.
Larson?
Yes. I got an inside tip from police headquarters.
Larson talked about what?
About you. He told of your connection with the dope racket and about your vault in the basement and the supply of drugs you keep there. Well, the commissioner's kept it secret for several days so that he can investigate quietly.
He has, huh?
I wanted to have a scoop, but I wanted to be ready with a story about your home when the police picked you up.
So that's it. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Miss Travis, but the police have nothing on me.
Oh, Larson told me.
Larson, a cheap, notorious hoodlum. What's his word against mine?
But he gave the commissioner a key to your vault.
A key, huh? Well, the police are free to use that key. They can look into my vault any time they want to. But they'll do it at their own risk.
Oh, Larson told them all that. They know all about the secret lock. They sent men to pose at the telephone. What am I saying?
Telephone man. Confound it, I thought there was something peculiar about him. That man from the electric company. I thought it took him a long time to read that meter. They were both detectives.
Oh, I've talked too much.
What? The alarm again. Grieg! Grieg, where are you?
I've got to go.
You come with me.
My arm.
Come on, I'll see what this is all about.
Please put that gun away.
Shut up. Grieg, what's happened to you?
Is he dead?
Someone came through that door after Grieg had closed it. I'll see about this. Come with me.
Oh, please.
Keep going and don't try to resist or I'll shoot. This game is for keeps. Open that door.
Oh, but my arm,
Go down those stairs right ahead of me. If anyone tries to shoot me, they'll get you first.
Oh, you coward. You'd use me as a shield.
You bet I would. Now walk straight ahead toward that vault.
I'm not to blame for your trouble.
There's the vault.
There's a key in the lock.
I see there is. Wonder if someone's gotten inside. If they found that secret lock, they could have had a key made for it and opened it without setting off the explosion.
I don't know anything about that.
You will. The alarm stopped again. Stand right where you are. I'm going to open that door. If someone's in there, there'll be gunplay.
Oh, you'll blow
Oh,
us up.
no, I won't. I have the safety key. Now, don't try to get away. I'll not hesitate to shoot. Thought this lock was well hidden. They may have found it.
I want that key.
What the...
You shot too fast. Try this
No.
gas.
Mess.
You can't level a gun after that gas hits you.
That does it.
Oh, gosh. Am I glad to see you?
Linda, are you all right?
Yes.
You were great. Take this key off Grayling's watch chain and put it on my own.
You saw where the lock was hidden?
Yes. You show it to the police when they arrive.
Well, if you leave that safety key, they can go into the vault.
The commissioner's going to get this key. He'll be the one to enter that vault.
Oh, I see.
We're nearly through, Linda. Don't muff the last act. I'll call the commissioner on the phone upstairs. The police will be here in just a few minutes. They'll find you on the floor, just recovering consciousness. You were gassed by the Green Hornet. You got it?
Got it. Oh, but why can't I go with you?
You've got to show the police the secret lock and warn them not to open that vault. Now get down on the floor as if you've been gassed. You'll not have long to wait. This is it, Commissioner. Send the boys to pick up Grayling and his pal, a hood named Grieg.
Get going, boys. It's time to arrest the man on top.
There they are, Cato.
Police get here very quick.
They were just a quarter of a mile away, waiting for a call by radio. Step on it, Cato. Let's get going.
There's Grayling. It's our pole.
Help me.
My great Scott, it's a girl.
It's Miss Travis from the Sentinel. Here, let me help you.
Grayling and I, the Green Hornet was
The Green
here.
Hornet? Great day. Where is he now?
He's gone. He took a key from Grayling's chain.
There's a key in that vault.
Oh, don't open that vault. Don't open it without the key that the Green Hornet took away.
Miss Travis, we're
I'll tell you everything as soon as I've called the Daily Sentinel.
It was the following day at noon. Britt Reed's father and the police commissioner had met for luncheon in a private room at the Civic Club.
Confound it, Reed, you've got to come through. I have Grayling under arrest, but I can't hold him for long without some evidence.
Evidence, huh?
That's what I said. All we have against him is the statement made by Larry Lawson. That won't do. I've got to get into Grayling's vault, but I can't do it without the key. That safety key.
You're sure the Green Hornet has it?
Of course he has. The Travis girl said so. Tell me who the Green Hornet is. I've got to reach him.
Well, sorry, Jim, I can't. I promised I wouldn't reveal his identity.
You...
Oh, here comes Britt now.
I'm sorry I'm late, Dad. How are you, Commissioner Higgins?
Not so good.
Sit down, Britt. Sit down. Higgins is upset because the Green Hornet made off with the key to a secret lock on Grayling's vault.
Well, according to Linda Travis, the police found the lock.
Yes, but it calls for a very special type of key. A long, thin one.
Long and thin, huh?
Maybe like the one Britt's twirling on the end of his watch chain, huh?
What?
Now, you might examine this one, Commissioner. I'll take it off for you. Here. I'll bet 2 to 1 this key will fit the secret lock.
You'll bet.
Surprised?
What? Why, this means that...
Will you, shake hands with the Green Hornet?
You! Great Scott, Britt, you... well... Well, that's a horse on me. But I thought there was something familiar about your voice. Last night in the car, you tried to disguise it, but I recognized it as the voice of someone I knew.
I was afraid you would.
You, the Green Hornet. Well, Britt, I always thought of you as a playboy. You've certainly got more nerve than I suspected. Get this. I appreciate the confidence you've placed in me. I want you to know that I'll keep your secret. You needn't worry. I can use you. Oh, brother, how I can use you. Now, I want to have a long talk with...
Jim, you can talk any time. Now, there's a vault full of evidence and grailing, and you have the key to that vault.
And we have a newspaper waiting for a headline.
Unless you'd rather eat.
Eat? Who wants to eat at a time like this? Come on, you're both in on this. Let's go get that evidence.
Come on, Dad, let's cover the story. The commissioner's going to make a headline for the Daily Sentinel.
Let's select Street. Pittsburgh Commissioner finds narcotics hidden in grailing home. Man on top behind bars. Read all about it. Green Hornet delivers key to police. That's Select Street. Pittsburgh!
To save money for your future, buy U.S. savings bonds. It is the safest investment in the world and very profitable. For every $3 invested in these bonds, you will receive $4 when the bonds mature. U.S. savings bonds can be bought on a regular plan at your bank. They may be redeemed at any time after 60 days for the full purchase price plus your interest. Start your savings now with U.S. savings bonds. You've been listening to The Green Hornet, brought to you by the Betty Crocker cereal tray, the cereal assortment of individual packages of Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kix. Listen, Cheerios now offers you one more big chance to get an amazing special kind of Lone Ranger Silver Bullet. Has secret compartment and built-in compass that really works. Also contains secret invisible ink tablet and magic developer tablet for writing secret messages. Not a real bullet, but made of durable metal and flashed with real silver. Get yours now for only 15 cents, no stamps, and one Cheerios box top. Mail to Lone Ranger, Box 7800, Chicago, Illinois. Lone Ranger, Box 7800, Chicago, Illinois. Be with us again next week at the same time when General Mills will again present The Green Hornet. This copyrighted feature originates in Detroit, and all characters, places, and incidents used are fictitious. Hal Neal speaking.
The Blue Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel. Today's episode of The Blue Beetle is entitled Crime Incorporated. The great metropolis of York City has begun to raise its head in pride again as racket after racket has been smashed. The Blue Beetle has done a notable job in bringing criminals to justice or driving them to cover. His name has become a byword in the mouths of the just as well as the unjust. But word has leaked through to the authorities that big-shot racketeers from other large cities are on their way to York City. Their purpose? To form a crime syndicate. As our story opens, Patrolman Dan Garrett is discussing the report with his friend and confidant, Dr. Franz, the chemist.
What do you figure is the purpose, Danny, of this meeting of the overlords of crime? Do you think they really intend to form a crime syndicate?
Perhaps.
Well, what can their object be?
Oh, greater organization, exchange of ideas and personnel, better and more efficient use of specialists in crime.
My. It sounds just like organizing a legitimate business.
Yes.
But can't the authorities do something about this crime syndicate?
I've just been thinking. If I could somehow get into one of their meetings, I might get some evidence.
But how could you do that?
I could disguise myself, visit one of their known hangouts, and scrape up an acquaintance with one of the big shots.
That would be mighty dangerous, Danny.
Danger's my middle name, Doc.
I'll answer it, Danny.
Hello?
Yes? Oh, yes, he's here. Just a minute. It's for you, Danny.
Thanks.
It's Charlie Storm of the Sun.
Hello? Yes, Charlie. What? Rondo's Cafe. Yes? Yes, that's a great idea. Sure, I'll meet you there about 10 tonight. Fine. Yeah, I'll be there. Goodbye.
Good news, Danny?
Charlie wants me to meet him at Rondo's Cafe about 10 tonight. Made up as a slick racketeer.
What's your plan?
I'll tell you later, Doc. I'm going over to my place and change my clothes. So long.
Hey, Rocky. I wonder what Frankie Capella's got up his sleeve. Asking us to come on here for a meeting.
I don't know. He's a slick one, though. He ain't never had the finger put on him in any of these rackets. Not even by the Blue Beetle.
Well, we'll know tonight as soon as St. Louis Joe gets in.
Hey, there's Frankie now.
Where?
There he is, going over to the table where those two guys are sitting.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
Mm-hmm.
Say, one of them guys is a husky-looking boy.
Yeah. The other ain't no bigger than a pint of peanuts.
Let's mosey over and get an earful.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
What's the matter, big boy? You're not drinking.
I'm in training.
For what?
Wrestling.
If you're a wrestler, I'm the king of Siam.
Well, I was a wrestler before they put me in stir.
When did you get out?
A while back.
How come they got you? You look too smart for that.
Took the rap for a pal. He had TB and his mother was old. So I took the rap for him.
Is this the guy here?
No. Charlie here works in a bank. He's a teller.
What have you been doing since you got out?
I was doing some odd jobs for Mr. Jarvis until the law caught up with him and he killed himself. Now he ain't got nothing.
Hello, Frankie.
Oh, hello, Rod. Hello, Rocky.
Hello.
Sit down. I'll be with you in a minute.
Okay.
So you were working for B.J., big boy.
That's right.
How'd you like to work for me?
As a wrestler?
Well, yes, sort of.
Are you a promoter?
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, you certainly promoted a lot of things in your day, Frankie.
Yeah, made a success of it.
What would I have to do?
Wear a masquerade costume.
Wrestlers don't wear
Mine do. Now, look. I'll bet you could tie the ordinary citizen up in knots, couldn't you?
Well, I'm pretty strong.
How strong?
How's this? I'll pick up one of your friends here in this hand and the other one in this.
What is this?
And knock their heads together like this.
Excellent. Hey. No guy can do that to me.
Me neither. Put away those Roscoes, boys. The kid's good. Just what we want. What's your name?
Strangler Van Orden.
Well, Strangler, are you agile?
Well, I can run 100 yards in 9 seconds flat and jump 6 feet 9.
Well, he's good if he can do it.
I can do it, okay.
Did you ever hear of the Blue Beetle?
Did I ever hear of the... Say, that's the guy that got B.J.
That's right. Well, how'd you like to masquerade as the Blue Beetle?
But I thought you wanted me to wrestle somebody.
He thought you wanted him to wrestle somebody, Frankie.
Quiet, Rocky. I might at that. Now, look, big boy. If you work for B.J., you can work for me. There's plenty of dough in it. More than wrestling.
Hey, what about my pal here? He worked for B.J., too. He got him his job in the bank.
Sorry, he's too little. He won't fit in with the other, like you will. I need husky men. Maybe later I can use him, but this is something special.
Okay. When do I start?
Tomorrow night. Come upstairs with me, and I'll give you your instructions and your Blue Beetle costume. We're going to give this city a very interesting masquerade party.
So, that's the Blue Beetle costume you're supposed to wear in your new job.
Yep. It's a pretty good imitation, isn't it?
Not bad. It's metal chain armor, all right, but it isn't flexible as silk. And I doubt if it's stronger than steel, like your real Blue Beetle armor.
No, and the midget antenna on the helmet's a fake.
I wonder what Capetto's idea is. Did he give you any hint last night?
No, just said he was going to give the city a real masquerade party. Told me to report at this address and ask for Slick.
So who's Slick?
I don't know yet. But I believe he's Capetto's agent.
What about this big meeting of the crime lords that's supposed to mean the incorporation of a nationwide crime syndicate?
Well, that's tonight. I'm supposed to meet the kingpins at that time to pass inspection. I've met 2 of them already.
Well, which costume are you going to wear?
The real Blue Beetle costume, of course.
Well, I'll have all your equipment ready for you. What's that about the Blue Beetle?
Oh, wait a minute. I'll get a paper, Doc.
To read all about it. Paper, mister?
Yes.
Here you are, mister. Looks like the Blue Beetle's a real crook after all, huh?
That's so? According to this headline, you're right. Here you are, son.
Thanks, mister. Extra, read all about it.
What is it, Danny?
According to this newspaper, I just robbed the First National Bank.
But that's impossible.
It says here the First National Bank was robbed shortly after closing this afternoon. A gang of masked men with sawed-off shotguns, led by the Blue Beetle, overpowered the guards and escaped with over $100,000 in cash and negotiable bonds. It was believed the robbery was engineered from inside.
Somebody's trying to discredit you, Danny.
Yes.
Someone out front in the apothecary shop. I'll see who it is.
Oh, hello, Doc.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Danny. Say, have you heard the latest news?
About the Blue Beetle?
Yeah, he's kidnapped the police commissioner's daughter.
What?
Yep, about an hour ago. Every man on the force has been ordered out on patrol duty. Say, what's that?
Huh? Oh, well, that's a Blue Beetle costume, Manigan.
Don't tell me, Danny, that you're the Blue Beetle.
Danny's playing a dangerous game, Manigan. He's been hired by Frankie Capetto to masquerade as the Blue Beetle. That's the costume he's supposed to wear.
Oh, boy. Oh, you had me heart sick in me breast for a minute. It'd be like arresting me own brother, Danny, if I had to take you in as the Blue Beetle.
Don't worry, Manigan. I don't think you'll ever take me as the real Blue Beetle.
I'll take it. Hello? Yes? Who? Oh, yes, he's here. Just a minute. Danny, it's for you.
Thanks, Doc. Hello? Oh, hello, Charlie. What's that? Bombed the mayor's office? Say, what is this? Yeah? Oh, he is. Yeah, well, I'll have to take that chance. Yeah, thanks for warning me, Charlie. Goodbye.
Well, what's the dope, Danny?
Charlie Storm says a bomb was exploded in the mayor's office just after the Blue Beetle was seen leaving the courthouse in a fast car.
Anybody hurt?
Fortunately, the office was empty.
Well, say, how many Blue Beetles are there?
Too many.
Well, what are you going to do, Danny?
Eliminate some of them.
Yeah, but Danny, how will I tell the difference between you and the real Blue Beetle if I run into any of them? I don't want to shoot.
Shoot to kill at any of them. Unless they call you Mike.
What a situation for the real Blue Beetle to face. 3 crooked Blue Beetles already, and probably more to come. Will the real Blue Beetle be unmasked and his identity disclosed to everybody? Can he hope to overcome the machinations of the overlords of the underworld? These questions will be answered in the next episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel. Today's episode of The Blue Beetle is the second part of a story entitled Crime Incorporated. In the first part of this story, crime overlords of various cities have gathered in York City to organize crime on a nationwide basis. Patrolman Dan Garrett, through a clever disguise, has convinced Frankie Capetto, the ringleader of the gang, that he would be an asset to the crime ring. Hired by Capetto, he has been given a Blue Beetle costume and ordered to report to a man named Slick. Meanwhile, underworld characters masquerading in Blue Beetle costumes have committed several crimes throughout the city. The First National Bank has been robbed. Commissioner Donnelly's daughter has been kidnapped, and the mayor's office has been bombed. As our story opens, a meeting of Crime Incorporated is in session.
Well, boys, the first part of our plan is underway. The city officials are scared. Our next move is to terrorize the citizens themselves.
How?
The guy I hired last night, Strangler Van Norden, he calls himself, says he's a wrestler.
He's husky enough to be one.
Yeah, but he ain't fooling me. He's got brains.
What are you going to use him for?
Hold-ups.
Can he shoot?
I don't know, and I don't care. He won't use a gun.
But how do you expect
He'll just come up in back of a guy in the dark, give him the old hugger-mugger with his arm around his neck, rob him, and let him drop.
That's swell. No noise or nothing.
That's right. Once he gets started, the citizens will demand a crime cleanup.
Well, what about the real Blue Beetle?
Well, I figure he'll fall into our net as soon as he hears about all these fake Blue Beetles. Once we get him out of the way, we're all set. We'll organize this town, then move on to other big cities. Now, each of you specialists will head your own racket, but the take will be pooled. Every so often, the syndicate will declare a dividend.
That's a swell idea.
Great.
I hope it works.
Yeah?
All the Blue Beetles are here.
What about Strangler Van Norden?
He's in the outer office.
Hold the others and send in Van Norden.
Okay. Well, listen, Frankie.
Yeah?
No one by the name of Van Norden ever worked for B.J.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay, send in this Strangler and we'll unmask him.
What's the lowdown?
This wrestler's a fake.
You mean he's a dick?
I don't know, but we'll soon find out.
Here's the Strangler.
Ah, come in, Van Norden. You met some of these gentlemen before?
Yes, I have.
Say, you look swell in your Blue Beetle costume.
Thanks.
It's a very good fit, too. By the way, just what sort of work did you do for the late B.J.?
Well,
Never mind. I won't pry into your past. I'll let somebody else do that.
Yeah, Frankie?
Come in and bring the other Blue Beetles with you.
Okay.
Mr. Strangler Van Norden, I want you to meet B.J.'s former chief of staff, Slick Thomas. He says you never worked for B.J. Oh, come in, boys. Hey, Slick.
Yeah, Frankie?
Strip the mask from the Strangler's face.
Okay. Grab him, boys.
No, you don't. There's one Blue Beetle left.
Two Blue Beetles left.
And now for...
Look out while I plug him.
Wait a minute. Not here. Slick.
Yeah, Frankie?
Unmask him.
Sure. There. Well, I'll be...
You know him?
Sure.
Who is he?
The copper, Dan Garrett.
Dan Garrett.
A copper.
Hey, what do you say, Capetto? Let me plug him.
No. Put up your guns. We don't want any shooting around here.
What'll I do with him, Frankie?
Examine his costume.
Looks like one of ours.
How about the midget antenna in his helmet?
Just a minute. It's a fake. It ain't connected with anything.
Search him. You find anything?
Nothing.
No magic ray or flashlight or master keys?
Nothing, Frankie.
Then he isn't the real Blue Beetle.
Just a dumb copper.
No, not so dumb.
What do I do with him?
Throw some water on him. We'll take him out to Hangman's Island where we've got the girl.
Hey, it's the cops.
Hey, Frankie, I should have stayed on guard.
Hey, how do we get out of here?
We'll blast our way out.
Hey, quick. This way, everybody. Through this panel. There's a secret stairway to the roof.
Okay, here we go. But first, here's one for the copper on the floor there. Yeah.
His next costume will be a white robe and a harp.
There you are, Danny. All bandaged up.
Thanks, Doc.
A little more to the right, and that thug's bullet would have put an end to the career of patrolman Dan Garrett.
And the Blue Beetle.
Why didn't you wear the real Blue Beetle costume and mask and take along the magic ray and other things?
I was out after information. I figured there was no sense in the Blue Beetle's nipping until I knew more about the plans of Crime Incorporated.
And what did you find out?
Well, from what I heard as I was regaining consciousness after being hit on the head with a chair, Mary Donnelly's being held captive out at Hangman's Island.
When are you going out there?
Right away.
But you're wounded.
Oh, a little thing like that won't stop the real Blue Beetle. It's only a flesh wound.
But you're going as the real Blue Beetle this time, I hope.
You bet. And I'd like to take along that electric ray pistol if it's ready.
It's all ready, Danny.
Fine, Doc. Now, as soon as I get into my Blue Beetle costume, I'm off to Hangman's Island. Tonight, the Blue Beetle will sting as well as nip. So, Miss Donnelly, you refuse to sign this ransom note to your father.
I certainly do.
And I'm afraid he'll never see you again.
You can't frighten me. You'd never dare harm me. My father
You've
would...
been reading the wrong kind of literature, Miss Donnelly.
What do you mean?
You've been reading old-fashioned romances where the brave and the true survive and the wicked perish.
My father will have every policeman on the force out searching for me.
But you'll never be found alive.
You let me out of here. Let me out of here or I'll scratch your eyes out.
Easy, or I'll have you tied up again.
You'll be sorry for this.
Now, why don't you sign this note, huh? Your father can raise $50,000, and as soon as we have the money, you'll be free.
I'll never sign it. Never.
And I'm afraid you'll die of starvation in this cell, unless your father's men get too close on our heels. In which case, I'll set fire to the powder magazine in the room next to yours and blow this whole place to kingdom come. Hey, what's that noise? The Blue Beetle, and he's going to nip.
Help, Blue Beetle, help. Help, I'm locked in a cell here.
Beat it, Blue Beetle. Don't try to hijack me. I'll wipe you out and throw your body in the river. Not this Blue Beetle. Slick, Joe, Rod, Rocket. Call them all. And call your fake Blue Beetles. I'll take them all on. Come on, Whitey. What's the matter?
One of the Blue Beetles gone haywire. He's holding up Capetto.
One more down.
Stand back, all of you, or I'll shoot some of you Blue Beetles there. You're wearing chain armor. Rush him.
Okay,
Go on.
We'll get him, Will.
What kind of a gun is that?
I must have been shooting blanks at him.
Now I'll shoot, Rocky, and it won't be blank. Now, stand back, all of you. Geppetto, give me the key to Miss Donnelly's cell. Try and get it.
Here, take the key. Take all of them.
Now, all of you, get over against the wall. Are you all right, Miss Donnelly?
Just about. Well, thank heavens you came when you did. That fiend there was going to blow me up.
Blow you up?
Yes. You see, the powder magazine is in that room next to this cell here.
That's an idea. Here, take the keys and see if one of them will open that door.
All right. It's unlocked.
Slip the bolt. Now, open the door.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Blow up this hideout.
You can't do that.
Quiet. Or I'll blast you again with my gun. Here. I'll crack open this keg of gunpowder. There we are. Now, Miss Donnelly, Go up those stairs there as fast as you can.
But what about you, Blue Beetle?
I'll follow you, leaving a trail of gunpowder as I go. If any of these crooks move, I'll set fire to the trail and blow them all off the map. Here we go.
Hey, Frankie, the money. It's upstairs.
One more shot can't do no harm. Hey, look out. The Blue Beetle set fire to the gunpowder trail. Come on.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Well, Danny, the Blue Beetle certainly wiped out one rat nest.
Yes, and a lot of fake blue beetles with it. I meant to give them an even chance with the law when we got outside. But when I gave Rocky another burn with a ray gun, it ignited the powder trail.
You and Miss Donnelly were lucky to escape with your lives.
Yes. As soon as I got her back to the mainland, I sent her home in a taxi.
Well, you'd better turn in.
Yes, I guess I will, Doc. After this adventure, I'll be seeing blue beetles in my sleep.
And so the real Blue Beetle cleaned up a lot of fake Blue Beetles and smashed the nationwide crime ring before it had a chance to incorporate. The moral of this story is that no matter what the odds, good will triumph over evil. Might is not right, but right is might. Further adventures of the Blue Beetle will be presented in the next episode of The Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle.
X-Tree, Senator X-Tree. Now the most refreshing drink in the world, Orange Crush, presents the Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies who try to destroy our America. With his faithful valet Cato, Britt Reed, daring young publisher, matches wits with the underworld, risking his life that criminals and racketeers within the law may feel its weight by the sting of the Green Hornet. Now ride with Britt Reed in the thrilling adventure of Keys to a Robbery. The Green Hornet strikes again. The adventures of the Green Hornet are brought to you by the most refreshing drink in the world, Orange Crush. Delicious Orange Crush is made with real fresh oranges, with all its wonderful fresh fruit flavor sealed in that sun-proof Orange Crush brown bottle, the exclusive brown bottle that keeps light out, keeps flavor in. Always look for that exclusive brown bottle and enjoy the one and only Orange Crush. Britt Reed, young publisher of the Daily Sentinel, had flown his seaplane to Miami, Florida, for the newspaper publishers' convention taking place there. Michael Axford accompanied him, as did Reed's valet and friend Cato. Reed confided in Axford.
Since Miss Case and Clicker Benny are taking their vacation in Cuba, I thought perhaps we might fly over to see them before we return north.
That's right. Havana's only an hour's plane ride from here, isn't it?
Oh, less than that. But the girls aren't in Havana. They've taken a beach cottage 50 miles from there, at Cardenas. So that's where we'll go, if we go.
At that moment, a giant luxury yacht, the Quicksilver, was nearing the harbor of Cardenas. The vessel was the property of the notorious Floyd Hammond, and Hammond was in his cabin talking with a man named Rocky Pomeroy.
Rocky, what word did Bill Ferris give you when you left Miami last night?
Well, nothing directly, boss. But he sounded scared, kind of.
Yeah?
However, he said he'd go through with the arrangements you made last time he talked to you.
Smart guy, isn't he? Wants to be sure he'll get his money in advance before passing over the route sheet for the money truck, huh?
What are the arrangements, boss?
He'll meet me tomorrow night in Cardenas at Louis' place.
And once we get the route sheet, everything will go as planned, huh?
Everything. When you've made your getaway, take the boat to that island, Palmetto Key, and stay there. I'll leave Cardenas tomorrow night.
You'll signal us from the yacht when you get near the key, huh?
Right.
We'll bring the money out the yacht then and get aboard. But, boss, I've been thinking about Ferris.
Yeah?
You think he'll hold up once the cops and feds start drilling him?
Don't worry about that, Rocky. He'll not talk.
You sure?
Yes, Rocky. Because before he gets a chance to talk, one of your men will kill him in Miami. Now, after he leaves Cardenas tomorrow night, you go to Havana and take the next regular flight to Miami. Wait until morning before you send a man.
Early next afternoon, after a convention session, Britt Reed sought out Michael Axford in the lobby of their hotel.
Axford, I want you to fly to Havana at once. Get a car there and drive out to Cardenas. Miss Case thinks she may have stumbled onto the makings of a story. See if she's right.
I'd be glad to go, Reed.
Axford arrived in Havana, then hired an automobile and drove to the small seaside town of Cardenas. There, after inquiry, he located the cottage where Lenore Case and the Sentinel's vivacious photographer, Clicker Binney, were staying. Miss Case, Reed's secretary, greeted Axford warmly.
Michael, oh, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here.
So am I, Casey. Where's Clicker?
Here I am, Michael. When I heard you were coming, I decided it was too warm to bake a cake. So I just warmed over my heart for you.
Listen to her, will you? She made the Blarney Stone, that one.
Both of you stop it. Michael's here on business, Clicker. Michael, Floyd Hammond's yacht is tied up at the dock here.
But what's Hammond doing here?
We haven't found out yet.
Well, let's mosey around town together and see if we can find out. Hammond knows you, doesn't he, Clicker?
Oh, yes. I take his picture every time they arrest him. And take it again when the DA releases him for want of evidence. Well, it's getting late, and the lights on the way to town aren't bright. So let's start, shall we?
Bill Ferris, a crook at heart, had worked for many years as a route dispatcher for one of the largest money-delivering truck firms in the Southeast. He had done his work well, and now he was ready for the $1 million robbery that he and Floyd Hammond had planned years before. Covering his tracks, he had been flown to Cuba after finishing his work for the day. He sat with Floyd Hammond at a table in the corner of a Cardenas cafe, known as Louis' Place.
Mr. Hammond, I didn't get tomorrow's route until near quitting time. The drivers don't get it until tomorrow.
Yes, I know that. How much are they picking up at the bank?
A little more than $1 million.
Yeah?
Most of it's supposed to be delivered to a few gambling houses outside Dade County. The first stop will be...
Never mind telling me. Here's your 10,000 down payment.
Thanks.
Now let me see the route sheet before I give it to Rocky.
Here.
You can slip out the back door as soon as we've gone over it.
All right.
Tina will have the car ready to take it to the plane. Now, let's see. The truck will turn off Collins at this spot.
Michael Axford, at that moment, was walking with Lenore Case and Clicker Binney along the small main street of Cardenas.
Well, it's a cinch there was nobody on board. There were no lights shown from any of the cabin windows.
That doesn't mean anything, Michael. You took the word of the sailor on guard and did nothing more about it.
Well, that's because I was acting smart. Now, you see,
Michael, look over there.
Where?
Don't let them notice you looking. I mean over there on the left. Under that sign, it reads Louis' Place.
You mean those two?
Yes.
Glory be Clicker. I know what you mean. The tall fella, huh?
Yeah, that's Rocky Pomeroy, isn't it?
Sure it is.
I knew it. I've taken his picture, too. Who's Rocky Pomeroy?
One of our hometown boys, Casey. A hoodlum who don't...
he sees us, Michael. He's talking to the other man and looking this way.
Well, let him. We have as much right to be here as he has. More, in fact. Now, come on. We're going to go right past him and walk into Louis' place. If Rocky Pomeroy's hanging around a place like that, then I want to know what's inside. Well, if you don't want to come along, I'll go in by myself.
Lenore, we can't let him go in there alone. He's sure to get into trouble. Perhaps we'll keep him out of it.
Oh, all right. Wait for us, Michael. We're going with you.
As the trio came to the door of Louis's place, Rocky Pomeroy and the man called Tino stepped back into the shadows. Inside the cafe, Louis himself emerged from the dimness to greet Axford and his companions.
Good evening, senor, senoritas.
How do you do?
It is one fine thing to welcome you to Louis' place. I'm Louis. You will have a table and some wine, perhaps?
No, thanks. We'll go to the bar and have ourselves a few glasses of orange crush.
Oh, si, senor.
At the bar, as they waited for the drinks they'd ordered, the Sentinel staffers looked around the shadowy room. It was Clicker Binney who saw the two men at the corner table.
Lenore! Michael! We've hit the jackpot. Our story's here. Floyd Hammond's in the house.
He is, Clicker? Where?
Over there at that corner table near the rear door. He's sitting with the gray-haired man. See?
Yes, that's Floyd Hammond, all right.
Oh, he's getting up. He's leaving.
No, only the other man is.
Well, let's get a word with him before he...
Suppose you stay right where you are.
What? Where did you come from?
What do you care? You three just sit tight right here.
Oh, look. Do you know who I am?
Yeah. Newspaper snoop. The Damon Blues, a photographer from the Sentinel.
Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, hello, Hammond. This bully boy of yours here is threatening us.
Bully boy of mine? I don't know the man.
Come on now. None of that.
Get out of here, Rocky.
Sure.
You see, Michael, Mr. Hammond never met Rocky before. Did you, Mr. Hammond?
You're right, Miss Binney, isn't it?
How did you know?
Well, because I've seen you around, though I never met you. The same as in Rocky's case, you see. I've seen the man around, that's all.
Phooey.
No, that's hardly the attitude to take, Mr. Axford, isn't it?
That's my name, you know it is.
He's seen you around, too, Michael. Oh, in your circling, Mr. Hammond, I don't believe you met Lenore Case. This is Miss Case.
Well, how do you do, Miss Case?
Don't you think you'd better leave with your friend?
Well, I'm afraid I have no friends. Do you mean the bait man?
Bait man?
Yes, the one who was with me in the corner. I was giving him an order for bait. I'm going on a fishing cruise tomorrow. Would you care to join me?
No, thank you.
Well, perhaps you'd honor me, that is the three of you, by having breakfast with me on my yacht.
No.
We'd be glad to. Ixnay, Casey. We'd love to eat with you, wouldn't we, Clicker?
Oh, yes. Yes, we sure would.
Well, bring your camera along, Miss Binney. I'll be glad to pose with you.
Casey, this is going to be a story.
Oh, what time shall we come aboard, Mr. Hammond?
Well, we'll make it brunch instead of breakfast. Suppose we say 11 o'clock. I think 11 o'clock would be the ideal time.
The next morning, at the moment Axford, Lenore Case, and Clicker Binney were boarding the Quicksilver, an armored truck drove away from the rear door of a large bank in Miami. "20 minutes later, the truck made its first stop at a large and famous nightclub. Three guards who had been inside the truck prepared to remove the first delivery of money. And then, with the speed of light, it happened. 8 masked men who had been hiding in the hedges through the side of the club leaped into the open, machine guns blazing. The guards went down like wheat before a scythe. One of them managed to fire his revolver before he died. His bullets hit one of the robbers. The leader yelled to the other killers.
Never mind him. We got 30 seconds to clear that truck of the dough. Now, hurry up. That does it, Rocky. We have it all. All right, then get in the car with the rest of them. Go on. What about Tino? They shot him. He's dead. Leave him there. All right, get moving, Tommy. You know the way we're taking. Look at the crowd running toward the club. Yeah, but no cops. Good. Tommy, head right for the dock.
And you guys in the back seat, start changing your clothes.
Well, we ditched this car, Rock.
At the dock. It's stolen, and as long as none of you leave fingerprints on it, it doesn't matter where we leave it. All right, now watch those prints. And hurry, we've less than 3 minutes. All right, boys, the boat's ready. Grab those pouches, get them on board, and hide them under the fish that's piled in the corner. Now, fast! Yeah. Start the motor on that boat! Well, it looks like we've made it, boys. It worked just like the boss and I planned it. We're 20 minutes out of the beach, and no one's paid any attention to us.
Too bad they got Tino, huh?
Yeah. Maybe our cut will be bigger now.
Especially with that finger man Ferris out of the way.
You took care of him, huh, Blackie?
I gave it to him. Boom, boom, right in the head before he knew I was in his room. I put the gun in his hand like you told me, to make it look like suicide.
That a boy. You'll be sure he fingered the job when they find him. But they'll never find us.
Say, how long we have to hide out in the Palmetto Key, Rocky?
Only till late tonight. The boss will leave Cuba after it's dark. He'll signal to us from the yacht when he passes the key. We'll ride out to him, go aboard with the dough, sink this boat, and ride north like millionaires.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. Hello there, fellas and girls. Bet you're glad it's Friday again. And say, if the gang is coming over tonight, know what would go over big? Well, I'll tell you. Delicious Orange Crush. Yes, Orange Crush with sandwiches or cookies make mighty wonderful refreshment. Gosh, there's nothing more refreshing than ice-cold Orange Crush. That cool, tangy Orange Crush flavor really hits the spot. And Orange Crush is so good for you. It's made from fresh, tree-ripened California oranges. There's nothing artificial about Orange Crush. No artificial flavoring, no artificial coloring. That golden fresh fruit Orange Crush goodness comes right from nature. That's why you can drink all you want of wonderful tasting Orange Crush. Tell Mom to keep the refrigerator stocked up with Orange Crush all the time, so you'll always have it when friends drop in, and for after-school and nighttime snacks. The whole family will enjoy Orange Crush. It's the most refreshing drink in the world. Why not tell Mom you'll go to the store right now and pick up some of those 6-bottle handy packs of delicious Orange Crush. And when you go to buy Orange Crush, be sure to ask for it by name. Don't just say orange. Say, I want Orange Crush, because there's a world of difference. You'll recognize Orange Crush by its famous crinkly brown bottle, the sunproof bottle that keeps light out and keeps flavor in. So always ask for and be sure to get Orange Crush. ORANGECRUSH. Orange Crush. Now back to the Green Hornet. Britt Reed, together with the other publishers, was among the first to hear of the $1 million robbery and the murders that accompanied it.
I must call Cuba and have Axford and Miss Benny get here as soon as possible. This story will get national coverage. I need all the help I can get.
After breakfast and conversation, Axford, Miss Case, and Clicker Binney left Pomeroy's yacht. They returned to the girls' cottage shortly after 1 o'clock. The telephone was jingling endlessly.
Well, it sounds like a fire alarm or New Year's Eve. I'll answer it, girls. Hello? Oh, hello, Reed. You have you? Well, we've been on Hammond's yacht. What's that? $1 million robbery?
What?
Girls, there was $1 million bank robbery in Miami this morning.
$1 million?
Clicker and I will charter a plane, Reed, and get there as soon as possible. Goodbye. Did you hear that, Clicker?
Yeah.
He wants us on the story.
Well, if you two are returning to Miami, then I'm going with you. Clicker, let's start to pack.
2 hours later, when Axford and the 2 girls arrived in Miami, they called Reed's hotel and learned he was at the city morgue. They found him there looking at the police pictures of the bandit who had been slain at the scene of the holdup. Axford's eyes opened wide as he saw the likeness.
Reed, You say that's the robber that was killed when the $1 million was stolen?
Yes, they just identified him now. His name's Tino Machete. Well, you know him?
Not by name, I don't, but I know the face.
He was a Cuban criminal.
Certainly, that's where we saw him, Mr. Reed. In Cardenas last night, in front of that cafe, Louis' place.
That's right. He was talking to Rocky Pomeroy.
Rocky Pomeroy was in Cardenas last night with this man?
Yes, Chief. He's the fellow, all right.
Mr. Reed,
Oh, yes, Captain McLean.
I thought you might want this other picture. We're handing them out to the newspaper boys.
Oh, what is the picture? Who is it?
The man who fingered that robbery today, we think, Billy Ferris is his name, worked for the armor car outfit. He was murdered. Whoever killed him tried to make it look like suicide.
Oh, no.
But Ferris knew the
no.
route. Miss, what's the matter? What are you doing with the picture?
Lenore! Michael! It's the other one we saw last night.
This man?
Is the one we saw last evening in a cafe in Cardenas, Cuba.
Are you sure of that?
Positive. Right, Michael?
Sure, yeah.
He was sitting inside the cafe we just mentioned. He was talking to Floyd Hammond.
But Mr. Hammond said that man sold bait. He said they
It
hadn't
doesn't matter what he said. You people have placed Ferris and this man Tino Machete in Cuba last night. You've also placed Rocky Pomeroy there. Captain, I propose that you get in touch with Cuban police at once.
3 hours later, Captain McLean, downcast, gave a report to Reed and the Sentinel staff members.
We received word from Havana. No matter what our police think, the Cuban authorities have no grounds for holding Hammond. He says he doesn't know Pomeroy.
He's lying.
Undoubtedly, but how to prove it? And the man who owns the cafe where you say you saw Ferris denies it. He says the man who was talking to Hammond was a bait man. It's true the hold-up men may have come from Cuba and made their escape to there. But that has to be proved also.
Yes, it has to be proved.
Back in his hotel room, Britt Reed spoke low to his valet Cato, one of the 4 persons who knew that Reed was the Green Hornet.
Cato, I've sent Axford and Miss Benny out on assignments that'll keep them busy for the rest of the night. I told them I'd be busy on convention business and asked them to make their reports to Miss Case.
Oh, so, Mr. Britt, you have other thoughts, maybe?
Yes, Cato. I've already arranged for flight clearance back and forth. We're taking my plane and we're flying to Cuba.
Oh, good thing, Mr. Britt.
You have the Green Hornet mask and gas guns among my luggage?
Oh, yes, Mr. Britt. I have gas bombs, too.
Oh, good, good. If I'm to get aboard Hammond's yacht, I may need those. I'll put 3 or 4 in my pocket after we've landed the plane near Cardenas.
Britt Reed landed his plane in the waters off Cardenas, a spot where he had fished many times. Leaving the plane at anchor in a cove, he inflated the rubber emergency boat which was carried on the plane. Shortly before 8 o'clock, the rubber craft, almost silent in the moonless night, came to a stop near the anchor chain of Hammond's yacht, the Quicksilver. The Green Hornet, who had been rowing, spoke low.
The only person I see on deck is that guard at the head of the gangplank.
Oh, that's what I see too, Mr. Britt. You pull yourself up on boat by anchor chain?
Yeah, I think the biceps are still up to the job. You know what I told you on the way here?
Oh, yes, sir. I go back to plane and watch yacht leave. If you not jump overboard and swim to plane when yacht passes cove, I wait 1 hour, but I follow after yacht at end of hour, no matter what happens.
Right. If it's possible, I'll blink that fog-piercing flashlight I have. You know what the signals mean?
Oh, sure. I fly back again overboard after a while if light shines steady. If it blinks fast, I come down and wait for you to leave boat and swim to plane.
That's it. Now, let's see. Gas gun in my belt, bombs in my pocket, flashlight in trouser pocket. Now, that's everything. Well, here goes.
Like an acrobat in the circus, the Green Hornet, climbing hand over hand, made his way swiftly to the top of the anchor chain. There, he grabbed a trailing hawser and lifted himself onto the deck. There was activity at the stern of the boat, but no one saw the masked figure. The Green Hornet sprinted to where large piles of canvas were stacked near a lifeboat. He hid behind these and waited. The boat left Cardenas half an hour later. After getting underway, the crew went below and the boat became quiet. Cautiously, the Green Hornet came from his hiding place and crept in the shadows to a passageway leading to the cabins. 3 times within the next 4 hours, Cato, in Reed's plane, passed over the yacht Quicksilver. 3 times from somewhere on the vessel below, a flashlight went on and beamed steadily.
Oh, light burned bright. Oh, me all is okie dokie. I fly on for a while and then come back. Hope gas holds out.
Shortly after midnight, the Quicksilver came to a stop about 100 feet off an isolated key near the tip of the Florida Peninsula.
Hi there. Here we are.
Men rowed out in a large boat and boarded the yacht, carrying heavy sacks with them. Minutes later, the boat started again. The party of celebration on board the Quicksilver had become as noisy as it was alcoholic. Even Floyd Hammond had succumbed to the refreshments, and boastingly he was talking to Rocky Pomeroy.
Hey, Rocky, old boy, I'm set for life now. We're all set for life. Hey, look at all those bills with you. Don't they look pretty?
Yeah, you can say that again, boys.
Okay, I will say it. Don't they look pretty, huh? Hey, boys, don't they? Look at those bank slips on each pile. $50,000 on this one, $20,000 on that.
Hey, boys. Who's that guy standing in the doorway, huh? Who's kidding around with a mask on him, huh?
Hey, that guy's dressed like the Green Hornet. Hey, cut the kidding. Who are you?
I'm who you think I am, the Green Hornet.
Hey, he's going to throw something.
Here's a gas bomb for you.
No, no.
And another. And another.
The members of the Hammond Pomeroy gang had been too befuddled to reach for their guns. The Green Hornet, carrying his gas gun, ran out onto the deck and headed for the pilot house.
Captain, and you at the wheel. Here, gas! Oh, that takes care of everyone topside. Now to use this fire axe and chop the wheel and instruments to pieces. Well, the boat's starting to move in circles. Now, if only... Oh, there it is again. That's my plane. I'd know that motor among a million. Where's that flashlight? Oh, here it is. Short, on, off, on, off, on. Well, there's my plane. Now, just one more thing to set off these emergency rockets. Now. Oh, look at the way they light that sky. Hello, Coast Guard. Goodbye, Quicksilver. I'm taking a swim.
This way, Mr. Britt. Swim this way.
When Britt Reed descended into the lobby of his hotel on the following morning, Michael Axford came running towards him.
Hey, Reed! Oh, Reed, why did you have to sleep late in the morning like this morning?
I was tired, Axford. Why? Has there been another holdup?
No, but Reed, they captured the gang that held up the bank yesterday. What's more, they got back all the money that was stolen, too.
Oh, that's good news. Where'd all this happen?
On board Floyd Hammond's yacht a few miles from Key Largo. Early this morning, rockets started going off in a boat, and the Coast Guard hurried to heed the signal for help. When they got there, they found the Quicksilver going around in the water like some merry-go-round.
It must have made them dizzy watching it.
Ah, what are you joking about? This is a big story. Clickers down at the Federal Building now taking pictures of Hammond and Rocky Pomeroy and the other crooks that were taken with them.
Oh, Pomeroy was with them, was he?
That he was. It was just like we figured yesterday, after seeing the pictures of Farris and that dead guy Tino. And Reed, guess what?
Oh, I can't begin to guess. You tell me.
Do you know who was on the boat and got away?
No.
The Green Hornet, that's who. He gassed a lot of them, they say. And then he must have gone crazy or something, because he gassed the skipper too and chopped up the pilot's house. That's what caused him to be caught. The cops found the gun that killed Farris on one of the goons, and they proved that Bill Farris was in on the job for sure.
But what happened to the Green Hornet?
He disappeared, that's what. Something tells me he got himself drowned after going crazy. Reed, as sure as I stand here and look at you, I'm sure we'll never see the Green Harlot again.
Pistol extra, paper, $1 million bank robbery solved. Police get goods on Hammond. Read all about it. Gang jail. Green Hornet escape. Sentinel extra, paper.
That's the Green Hornet story for today. Another exciting story brought to you by the most refreshing drink in the world. The drink that's actually good for you because it's made with real oranges. The one and only Orange Crush. It sparkles, it tingles, it makes you feel fresh again. Always keep several bottles in your refrigerator. And always remember, the handy way to do that is to get the handy pack. 6 bottles of Orange Crush in a handy carrying case. This program is a feature of the Green Hornet Incorporated. Created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated, directed by Charles D. Livingston, and edited by Fran Stryker. The part of the Green Hornet is played by Jack McCarthy. This copyrighted feature originates in Detroit, and all characters, places, and incidents used are fictitious. The Green Hornet is brought to you every Wednesday and Friday at this same time by the most refreshing drink in the world, Orange Crush. That's the drink you like best of all. Try it. Next time, ask for Orange Crush. But remember, don't say orange. Say Orange Crush. OrangeCrush. Orange Crush. Next Wednesday, listen to the Green Hornet again in the exciting story of danger entitled Election Boomerang. And now, till Wednesday, this is Fred Foy saying so long from Orange Crush. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Blue Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel.
Today's transcribed episode of the Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is entitled The Dancing Ghosts of Rocky Hills. Perched high on a rocky crag overlooking the ocean, not many miles from York City, sits Gray Craig's Manor. Surrounded by high stone walls, the large house dominates an estate of some 300 acres in Rocky Hills, Eastchester County. Residents of Rocky Hills say the place is haunted. Some claim to have seen, from a distance on moonlight nights, the shadowy figures of dancers in the ballroom of the east wing of the manor. As our story opens today, Patrolman Dan Garrett, who is really the Blue Beetle, little realizes that his next adventure will take him to Gray Craig's Manor. He is talking with his friend, Dr. Franz, in the little apothecary shop.
Danny, here's an item I clipped out of the personal column of the Chronicle this morning.
Addressed to the Blue Beetle.
Oh, I thought you'd be interested.
Somebody's kidding the Blue Beetle.
You think so?
Yeah, listen. Attention, Blue Beetle. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and scared the poor girl away. Why should anyone address nursery rhymes to me?
There's a secret message in cipher concealed in that nursery rhyme. Are you serious, Doc? Yes. I deciphered it just before you came in.
Well, what's the message, Doc?
How were you able to solve it?
Well, the difference in size of type used throughout the rhyme gave me a clue. The young lady has evidently been reading Francis Bacon.
Young lady?
Yes, young lady.
Well, this begins to look like a romantic adventure. And what makes you think she's been reading Francis Bacon?
Well, he used to write many of his plays and poems in cipher similar to this.
That's very interesting. What method did you evolve from this nursery doggerel, Doc?
Well, here it is, deciphered. Young heiress in dire distress. Only Blue Beetle can help. Come alone, midnight, Gray Crags Manor. Urgent.
Gray Crags Manor. That's out at Rocky Hills.
Yes, the place is supposed to be haunted.
It sounds like a trap for the Blue Beetle, but it's certainly intriguing.
Yes, isn't it?
I think I'll take a run out there now and look the place over by daylight.
Oh, why don't you? But be careful, Danny. That section used to be infested with bootleggers and rum runners during Prohibition. It's along the seashore, lots of coves and inlets with rocky cliffs overhanging the sea.
Sounds interesting.
Are you planning on taking Officer Manigan with you?
No, poor Mike's laid up with a bad case of poison ivy.
That's tough on Mike.
Yes, the old warhorse is champing at the bit. I'm going to drop by and see him.
Well, tell him I hope he'll be back on the job again soon.
I will. Goodbye, Doc. See you later.
Check the roll, buddy.
No, I have plenty of oil, thanks. What do I owe you?
Up, Buck.
There you are.
Oh, thanks.
By the way, who lives in that old mansion up on the hill, overlooking the ocean there?
Mostly ghosts, buddy.
Don't tell me you believe in ghosts.
Well, I don't know. Some folks in the village here claim to have heard music and seen figures dancing in a ballroom as they walked along the road.
Hasn't anyone visited the place?
Nobody round here. There's a guy with a club foot on guard at the entrance to the estate. Sort of a caretaker. He don't let nobody in.
Doesn't anybody live in the manor house?
Yeah, there's a young girl, Rosalie Greenhole, and her aunt just moved in. She inherited the place, I heard.
Is that so? How recently did they move in?
About a week ago.
Ever see them?
Sure. They drive by here every day in an old-fashioned carriage drawn by a couple of swell-looking horses.
Who drives them?
An old man in an old-fashioned coachman's uniform.
You're sure they're not all ghosts?
Oh, sure I'm sure. Well, Joe Digby on the corner there sells them groceries and things. He says the coachman does all the ordering. The girl and her aunt don't talk to nobody. They're kind of snooty, Joe says.
Well, that's very interesting. I've got to get along. Ghosts or no ghosts, a fellow's got to make a living.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Well, so long, buddy, and stay away from haunted houses. Well?
I was wondering if I could drive through the gates there and up to the manor house. I'm a camera fiend, and I'd like to take some shots of the house and the ocean.
Ain't no one allowed on the grounds. Owner's orders.
No. Well, you suppose if I phoned up to the house from your lodge there, the owners would give me permission to take some pictures?
Ain't got no phone.
What are those, wires running up the road there?
Them's electric light wires.
I see. Well, thanks for the information.
Oh, excuse me, stranger. My alarm clock's going off. Must have set it wrong this morning.
Hello. That you, Clubfoot? This is Blackie. What's that? Some guy wanted to take pictures of the place. Wasn't a harness wall, was it? Oh, all right. Now listen. The girl got a message out to the Blue Beetle somehow. The old man's lawyer saw it in the newspaper. Be on the lookout for the Blue Beetle. With the spider wires, too. Okay. Tomorrow, Spider's taking a suitcase of the queer over to Mac at Hastings when he takes the girl and her aunt out for a drive. Right. Take care of things. Bye-bye.
Midnight. I wonder if the Blue Beetle got my... What's that noise? Oh,
Good evening. Or should I say good morning?
the Blue Beetle.
Yes, the Blue Beetle. You sent for me. here I am.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm in such trouble and so frightened. Will you help me?
The Blue Beetle is always ready to help anyone in distress.
I didn't know what to do. You were the only one I felt could help me. I'm watched every minute. This place, it's so spooky. It terrifies me.
Then why do you stay here?
I must. By the terms of my late uncle's will, I have to remain here until I'm 21 in order to inherit the money that goes with this place.
That's a strange condition to put in a will. Who lives here with you?
My maiden aunt, Uncle Nathaniel's sister, Abigail.
If you're watched the way you say you are, how did you get the message in the Chronicle?
Well, I wrote a note to the Chronicle, enclosed some money with it in a stamped envelope, and addressed it, and dropped it outside of Digby's grocery store yesterday, hoping that someone would find it and mail it.
Well, what goes on here? Why all the secrecy?
Well, I don't know exactly, but I've seen some of the strangest men around here. I've heard the gatekeeper call our coachman Spider, and I heard Spider call the gatekeeper Clubfoot. Mr. Jasper, that's Uncle's lawyer, says that they're old retainers of Uncle Nathaniel's. The others, he says, are workmen hired to fix the place, but they seem to work only at night.
What's that? What's that music?
Well, that's one of the things that frightens me. It's so ghostly. It comes from the other wing of the house.
Have you ever been in that part of the house, Miss Greenhold?
No. No, the door to that wing is locked, and I'm not permitted to go there. Mr. Jasper says that Uncle wanted that wing kept sacred to memories of his only love, a girl he met at a dance in the ballroom there one moonlit night. She died the night they were to be married.
I'd like to get over there and make a little investigation.
Well, I can show you the iron door that leads to that wing of the house, but you'll find it locked.
The Blue Beetle carries master keys to all locks. Let's have a look.
Here you are. Right through here. Now down this passageway. Here we are. That's the door to the east wing.
Now we'll just try these keys. No, not that one. Here's one that looks as if it might fit. There we are.
Look there. There are shadows of dancers on the wall, but no sound of voices. It's uncanny. It must be...
Ghosts. I've always wanted to meet a ghost. You stay here. I'd better lock this door after me.
Oh, no, please take me with you, Blue Beetle. I'm afraid to be left alone here.
No. You'll be safer in your part of the house. I'll be back as soon as I've had a look around.
The Blue Beetle walks into the trap. Down you go into the prison pit with the ghosts of the departed pirate captives. So you wanted to meet a ghost? Well, you'll meet plenty down there.
Blue Beetle! Blue Beetle, what's happened to you? What's happened to the Blue Beetle?
What has happened to the Blue Beetle? Who are the strange people who have made Gray Crags Manor their headquarters? Can the Blue Beetle extricate himself and solve the mystery of the dancing ghosts of Rocky Hills? These questions will be dramatically answered in the next transcribed episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle. We
Raining down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel.
Today's transcribed episode of the Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is the second part of the story entitled The Dancing Ghosts of Rocky Hill. In the previous episode, the Blue Beetle, through the personal column of the Chronicle, receives a call for aid from the new heiress at haunted Gray Crags Manor at Rocky Hill. Rumor has it that on moonlit nights, ghostly figures dance in the ballroom of Gray Crags Manor. The heiress, a young girl, Rosalie Greenhold, and her maiden aunt are closely guarded by two persons, a man called Spider, who serves as coachman, and a man with a clubfoot who claims to have been gatekeeper for the late owner, Nathaniel Greenhold. Entering the manor at midnight, the Blue Beetle talks secretly with Rosalie Greenhold. As the episode ended, the Blue Beetle was investigating the dancing ghost phenomenon when a trap door suddenly opened in front of him, and he was catapulted into a deep dungeon. As our story opens today, a Mr. Jasper, attorney for the estate, is talking with Blackie, whom the police suspect of being a desperate criminal.
Oh, look, Blackie. Suppose you let me handle this situation. After all, I'm the attorney for old man Greenhold's estate and sole executor of the will.
But the girl, Jasper. The girl. She'll have the cops on our necks.
I can handle her.
But something's got to be done to keep her quiet. After all, she got a message through to the Blue Beetle
And he's lying at the bottom of the pit where pirates used to throw their victims.
But is he dead?
Oh, the chances are his neck's broken, thanks to the spider.
But suppose he ain't dead or injured.
Well, he's securely locked in. Double locks and an iron door.
Well, I'll feel better if I went out and had a look for myself.
Well, that's all right, but do it under cover of darkness.
What about the girl?
I'll fake a message from the Blue Beetle and see that she gets it. She'll think he escaped and is coming back. That'll keep her quiet for a few days until you can move your plates and presses to some other location. They've been there long enough. The place is getting hot.
Someone's going to get wise to those phony ghosts and start investigating.
That's right. But by the terms of Nathaniel Greenhold's will, his niece Rosalie must live at the manor until she's 21.
And if she don't?
Then the whole estate, including a fortune in stocks and bonds, goes to charity.
With you as executor of the estate, it'll be slim pickings for charity.
I see. We understand each other. You've shared your counterfeiting profits with me. I'll share the estate with you. You get your counterfeiting equipment away from there, and we'll put on a haunted house campaign that will scare Rosalie Greenhold and her old maid aunt clear out of the state.
Well, just one key left to try. None of the others will fit. There. That's got it. Lucky I landed on my feet in this pit. No. The Blue Beetle's free of his prison. Hope no one heard me. I'd like to catch whoever's running this show off guard. There's a door. I'll try that. A stone stairway and a light at the top of it. Well, here goes.
I say, Blackie's taking an awful chance keeping this place as headquarters.
Yes. It was okay for turning out this kind of dough until that dame came to live here. Them dancers upstairs throwing shadows on the windows sure scared folks away from this place.
Here, pile these bills in the suitcase with the others.
Okay. Well, I'll take it. It's probably Clubfoot down the gate. Hello? Yeah, Spider's here. Just a minute. That's for you, Spider.
Oh. Hello? What? Blackie says dismantle the press? Yes. What? Good, yes. Okay. Yes, I got you. Huh? Deliver the fake do-re mi to the laundry in Hastings when I take the girl and her aunt for a drive in the morning.
So that's how it's done.
Goodbye.
Well, the Blue Beetle will spoil that little game. But first, I'll have a look upstairs and see what makes the ghosts dance.
I took your aunt's place on the drive this morning because I wanted to have a talk with you, Rosalie.
What about?
I don't think you trust me, my dear.
Why should I? I'm not permitted to have friends at the manor nor to visit outside places alone.
Those were your uncle's orders, Rosalie. After all, he wanted to protect you from fortune-hunting men and social parasites who might take advantage of your trusting nature when you came into your fortune.
But what about all those strange goings-on at the manor? Why, last night something terrible happened at...
What about last night? What happened?
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
Now, is there something you've been keeping from me, Rosalie? After all, your uncle trusted me. Why shouldn't you?
Well, last night, the Blue Beetle...
The Blue Beetle? Why, now, that's very interesting, because I clipped this out of the paper this morning. You may be the Rosalie this was addressed to. Now, here, read it.
Rosalie. Had strange experience last night with ghosts, but am safe now. Advise you leave manor as soon as possible. Signed, the Blue Beetle. Oh, I knew I was right. That terrible place. I won't stay there another night.
Oh. Well, here we are at the laundry, Mr. Jasper. Shall I take the bag of wash in, sir?
Yes, take it in. But be sure to get a receipt, Spider.
Yes, sir. Just a moment there. I'd like to have a look at that bag.
Now, what's the idea of this? Who are you?
I'm the sheriff of Eastchester County. I've had a telephone call to be on the lookout for you folks.
Why, this is an outrage. We're respectable citizens. This young lady is the owner of Gray Craig's Manor, and I'm her attorney.
Oh, well, then you won't mind my looking into this suitcase to make sure it's full of dirty clothes and not...
Spider, drive on. We'll not stand for this outrage.
Touch those horses, and I'll touch this trigger. Now, I'll have a look in that suitcase. Money. Counterfeit. The Blue Beetle was right.
The Blue Beetle?
Yes, the Blue Beetle. He phoned me an hour ago.
Mr. Jasper, what does this mean?
Well, somebody must have switched suitcases on us. But this is a frame-up.
Oh, is that so? Well, I'd say you two were in a tough spot.
Now, I demand to see your warrant, Sheriff. I stand on my constitutional rights. As a practicing attorney, my advice to you is...
As a practicing sheriff, my advice to you, Mr. Attorney, is... Get a good lawyer.
Clubfoot's on the phone, Blackie.
Okay. Hello? What? The ghosts are dancing up at Gray Craig's. But it's only midday. Where's Spider? All right, phone up to Slim and tell him to stop the dancers. What? What's that? Slim doesn't answer. Something's gone haywire. You lock the gate and stand guard. I'll be out there pronto. Goodbye. I wonder where Slim is.
I don't know. Ain't nobody around.
Well, somebody shut off the mechanism of the dancing ghosts.
Yeah, we better have our gats ready.
You follow me and keep your eyes open. Nobody here.
I don't see no one. Something about this business don't smell right to me.
Look at that closet there. Someone may be hiding. Easy now.
Look! Slim.
Bound and gagged.
I wonder who done this, Blackie.
The Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
Yes, the Blue Beetle. Save your bullets. I'll take that gun, Blackie.
Oh, no, you won't, Blue Beetle.
Oh, yes, I will. That takes care of Mr. Blackie. Now, Mr. Clubfoot, I hate to sock a cripple, but drop that gun or I'll...
Okay, Blue Beetle, you win.
Well, that's better. I'll just tie you up for safekeeping. The police will need you.
What for? The cops ain't got nothing on me.
Perhaps not. But I'm sure they'll want you to demonstrate those mechanical dancing dolls upstairs that threw ghostly shadows on the windows of the old ballroom. Sorry I can't stay for the final curtain, but I'll read about it in tomorrow's papers. The Blue Beetle's job is done. The dancing ghost of Rocky Hills will dance no more at Gray Craig's Manor.
And so another gang of criminals was rounded up and brought to justice by the Blue Beetle. But Officer Manigan couldn't make the arrest because of being laid up with poison ivy. The moral of this story is, deception can never win for long. Truth will always triumph in the end. Also, as Officer Manigan would say, stay away from poison ivy. What new adventures await the Blue Beetle in his unceasing crusade against crime? This question will be answered in the next transcribed episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and The Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle.